Hello and welcome to the Sports Corner Festival of Football 2020. It's semi-final time. Two friends become allies as RB Leipzig take on Paris Saint-Germain in a game that features two managers that know each other incredibly well. It is a big game for both sides. Neither of these teams have ever made a Champions League final. One of them must go home at what is the penultimate hurdle of this competition. And if you haven't had enough of us two already, we're back again. How are we doing, Kieran Lawler?
It's all right. I'm doing all right. I'm really glad to be back with you, Josh. It feels like we've always chose the same games, so we're here again. But it should be good.
We've got similar likings, though, haven't we? When it comes to the picking of the games, we've always kind of been like, these are the games that us two want, and then sometimes Paul Rowan just gets onto the other game, like the Sevilla one. But he had an enjoyable time. Time. And that's all that matters.
He's now half a Sevilla fan, so that's a positive as well.
And at least he's remembered all the players' names, which is perfect for the final. So spot on there. But of course, before we talk about any finals, we've got just a crazy good game tonight on paper. As I said before, these are two sides that have never made the final before, and two managers who have previous history against each other and have worked alongside each other in the past, both as players and as managers, as Tuchel takes on Nagelsmann in a free-for-all, one-legged semi-final game. Let's have a look at the stream and see the chat right now. How are we doing, boys? TSC Bernal says, what's up, lads? Welcome in, Bernaldo. How are we all doing today? And Chris has put as well, hi, lads. Hope you're both well. Can you feel the nerves? Will PSG bottle it again?
Well, they turned Atalanta into the bottle jobs in the last round. They were the victors. They had their moment in the sun. Maybe they're starting to believe that the gods are on their side this year when the gods of the Champions League have been very much against them in the last couple of years. So maybe they're starting to believe.
Absolutely. We've got 10 minutes before kickoff. We're going to do what we always do on the Festival of Football. We're going to talk through the lineup, some interesting players on the pitch tonight, you could say. We're going to talk through our predictions and, of course, any questions you guys have got in the chat, whether it's to do with tonight's game or just European football in general, stick them in the chat. We've got 10 minutes to kill. So we'll go straight into the lineups, I think, because there's some interesting choices for both sides tonight in their approaches. So let's get the lineups on the screen right now. We're going to start off, of course, with the home side, RB Leipzig tonight. There's a couple of kind of places saying it's a 3-4-3 tonight. However, on the Champions League website, a 3-5-2, they've said. So, of course, we always have to say every time in goal, it's former Hull City legend Peter Galatsky. Hopefully this time he can be a little less nervy than the previous game. He looked a little bit worried. Hopefully maybe tonight he won't be as worried against what's going to be a very tricky PSG front line. But they've got to get past this defence. Back three of Mukiele, Upamecano and Klosterman. What a game Upamecano had in that previous match. A midfield five on the right-hand side is Konrad Lima. On the left-hand side is Angelino, very similar to the Atalanta system there, the two bombing winger/fullbacks, although, as you might know, Konrad Lima usually is just a natural centre midfielder. However, the actual three midfielders in tonight's game, we've got Sabitzer, Campbell and Kevin. Christopher Nkunku, not Kevin Nkunku, that's Kevin Campbell. Three very attacking midfielders, you could say, in that lineup. And up top tonight, together, which is why I'm a little bit questionable whether this is the actual formation or not, or whether they're going to tinker throughout the night. Of course, Yusuf Poulsen on the left-hand side. Danny Olmo up top tonight on the right-hand side. Is it a little and large approach, do you think? Have they kind of looked at other sides and maybe kind of seen what Inter Milan have done and thought, let's give it a go?
No, I'm not sure because if I'm not mistaken, it's a very, very similar lineup to what they had last time. Instead of Mukiele, last time I'm pretty sure they had Halstenberg instead. So it's very similar, and I do believe probably Olmo and Nkunku will be just behind Yusuf Poulsen, and have Yusuf Poulsen at the top of sort of like a front triangle. I believe they had no need to change their approach. It's worked so far. We saw with Man City, they tried to match a team blow for blow, alter with what they do, and the players just weren't on the same page as they usually were. I don't think Nagelsmann will do that. I think he'll stick with what he knows. And I remember last time, I think Klosterman was on the right-hand side, but Lima drifted over there and created the width because Klosterman was very much more of a defensive fullback. And we know Angelino constantly bombing up and down that left. I think it'll be a 3-4-2-1 rather than a 3-5-2 with Nkunku pushing forward with Olmo behind Poulsen.
Absolutely. That is what some websites are saying. They're going to line up as tonight, but we know this RB Leipzig side, they just consistently change formations within games. We've seen it before in one game where they play 3, 4, and 5 at the back, all in the same match, just tinkering players around. I mean, Sabitzer was playing fullback at one point. They're a wild side, but it's worked so far. They've got into this Champions League semi-final. And, well, you could say that they are the favourites to win the game tonight, but you never know with the lineup that PSG have put out tonight. That's right, Keylor Navas. We both watched that previous game against Atalanta. He's out injured and potentially, if they do go through to the final, might not be available for the rest of the competition. So Sergio Rico, former Fulham goalkeeper, has to come into the lineup. He obviously came on for the last couple of minutes of that game against Atalanta. He could be the potential hero of PSG's Champions League run towards the latter stages, of course. Back four, it's pretty much unchanged from the previous game. Thilo Kehrer at right back, Bernat at left back, with the two central defenders being Kempembe and Thiago Silva. Midfield three, slightly changed tonight, and I'm going to ask you a question about that in a second. Obviously, Leandro Paredes, not Esteban Paredes, Leandro Paredes in the midfield, Marquinhos as the CDM, and Ander Herrera also in there as well. Paredes coming in, and of course, Gay going out of the squad. And the front three tonight is a little bit different to what we saw in the previous game. Of course, Kylian Mbappe now fit, ready, raring to go after that 30-minute stint against the Italian side. He starts up top tonight. Neymar on the left-hand side. And Angel Di Maria, who was injured himself, is back tonight on the left-hand side. Verratti is on the bench as well. So all of their injured players are back. Now, in that previous game, we talked about, before the game had even started, I remember you mentioning about the midfield three being very defensive. It was Marquinhos, Herrera, and Idrissa Gueye last time, and it looked a little bit poor in the game. There wasn't a great deal of opportunities being pushed towards the front three tonight. Do you think we'll see a very, very different approach from PSG tonight, in that midfield itself is going to be a lot more attacking than the previous game?
Yeah, I think, obviously, they were 1-0 down and they made the changes that changed the game. One of them, of course, was bringing on Paredes and the likes of Choupo-Moting to go a little bit more attacking. For me, Marquinhos and Idrissa Gueye, if you have them both in the midfield, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. They do the exact same job. They're there to break up the play and win the ball back. And I don't think this PSG side need two of them in the same team, because they are one of the elite teams in Europe. I mean, if they were the likes of, maybe an underdog in this game, then yeah, maybe play two midfielders to break up the play, because you want to stop them attacks. But when you're a free-flowing attacking side like PSG, you don't need to worry about having two defensive midfielders. So I think Paredes will offer them more box-to-box alongside Ander Herrera. And what a bonus it has to have that front three, which, that is what Leipzig will fear, because Di Maria luckily missed the last game, but now he's in this one. He's had an electric season. It'll be interesting to see how they can contain them front three, who are the star men of this team, really.
Absolutely. It's a very, very different attacking side to what we saw in that previous game. They struggled for major opportunities on goal, although Neymar tried his very, very best throughout the night. And of course, they did get through courtesy of that late goal from Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting. We've had some breaking news that's coming in the last couple of minutes as well. Barcelona's president has just come out in the last couple of minutes and has just announced Ronald Koeman has signed a 2-year contract with FC Barcelona. Expected, of course. He's, of course, Barcelona legend, as we know. Been there for many, many years. Just a very, very quick kind of question about him. Do you think he's the right man to take over in a period of change for the club?
Yeah, I think he's plugging a gap. I don't think he's the long-term option. I think he is there to kind of, I don't want to say take the flak, but while they're under this sort of period of movement and change, if he does a bad job, then he's been dealt a really bad hand, so it won't affect the whole team too much. Whereas if you bring in a young new manager like Xavi, who they want to bring in, if you're Mauricio Pochettino, I think you want him for the long haul rather than kind of picking up this mess. So I think it's more a must change, just to kind of fill the gap before they can make long-term plans once this period of transition is over. I don't think he's the long-term fit, unless he does a fantastic job. And then they now have the man for the future.
You never know. He could do a fantastic job. Said, former Barca legend, he can potentially be the man to come in and really change it up. Of course, he was formerly the Dutch manager as well and has done a great job there. But, well, that's all we've got for now on that, of course. Just been announced a second ago. The president is talking in kind of like a question-and-answer session with the journalists and the public right now. So any kind of important information, keep you up to date with. But, of course, we've got Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. Put in the comments below your score predictions. It's time to ask you, Kieran. What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
I think it's PSG's time. I think they have been knocking on the door of a Champions League successful run for a while. They have been so unfortunate in the past. So I'm going to give them the nod tonight. And I'm going to say they're going to come out 3-1 winners. 3-1
winners. I'm going to go for the first game to go into extra time in the Champions League. I'm going to go 2-2. And then we're going to have penalties because we just want some penalties. We've not had it yet. Looking at the lineup tonight, BT are saying it's a 3-4-3, almost on the right-hand side, and Kunku's on the left. But it could change, of course, as we go.
I think in transition, it'll be completely different. I think it might be a 3-4-2-1. To be fair, they could probably go 4 at the back if they need to. Pop Lima in midfield, have Mukiele on the right because he's been deposited there many a time in the season, and Angelino on the left. There's so much versatility in this Leipzig side. However, I don't know about you, maybe that lack of defensive midfielder might really struggle today because they usually have Campbell in that anchorman role, but he doesn't really have the defensive abilities, so they may leave themselves 4-on-3 or even 3-on-3, and then that's real trouble for RB Leipzig.
I mean, it's interesting. I was very surprised that, in fact, Nagelsmann didn't give Tyler Adams a go. I know he only came on with a substitute appearance, but to score a goal, as you said, it's very an attacking midfield, which you can also say, obviously, PSG's is attacking. Now, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx the match, but you can kind of see where I'm going with this, where we could have plenty of space for both sides to push in and potentially have lots of opportunities on goal. But we'll have a quick look at the chat. A lot of predictions in here tonight. People are already flooding in. Bernaldo says he thinks it's going to be 2-0 RB Leipzig. Chris Welcher said 2-1 PSG. And Alexa's gone 3-2 Leipzig. So a couple of people in here tonight going with the RB Leipzig approach, of course. And Chris has put, I agree with everything Kieran L said, making his prediction about Paris Saint-Germain. So spot on there. Right then. Are we ready for the first semi-final? It felt like a long time ago, but last year we had 2 of the greatest semi-finals in Champions League history. Yeah. Surely not tonight. The ball is rolling. No. We're underway.
What second are you on? We should have synced up, but it's okay.
So we'll sync up at the 30-second mark, so everybody who wants to kind of join us to sync up goes along. So I'll count down with 10 seconds to go, so everybody can sync up with us tonight. Makes it easier. So we're about to hit 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30 now.
Oh, I'm ahead, Josh, by 5 seconds.
Oh,
we've got danger in the stream.
We're in a bit of a dangerous situation here.
If you just refresh, Josh, if you could, just to see if we can
refresh mine. Where my controller's gone.
It's all right. I've just had to pick mine up and slightly refresh.
Right, mine is on 55, 56, 57.
It's not working. I'm 4 seconds ahead.
I'm going to go to the BT stream on my computer and do it this way. So give me 2 seconds. And if you want to kind of walk us through what's going on right now while I log in.
I'm getting a brilliant picture of Thomas Tuchel sat on his ice box, which got a beating after last game. Obviously, injured his ankle, but Leipzig trying to play out from the back and I think the ball's been nicked by Kevin Campbell. It's up to Yusuf Poulsen, who draws it to Danny Olmo, but no foul given by the referee as it is now back in Paris Saint-Germain's possession. Very sloppy in the midfield. No team got a foot on the ball there. And looking at it, it looks like a 4-1-4-1 out of possession here. Very, very strange. And then it's pushing up to a 4-4. See, this is the thing with Leipzig. You can never quite put your finger on what they're trying to do, because so many players can play in so many different positions, and it can really
absolutely
for the opposition.
The good news is I have got my stream up. Just to get a rough idea, what time is your stream on?
I'm on now 2:07.
I'm at 2:10. I'm going to kind of Let's go to 2:30. You tell me when it's 2:30, and I'll start my stream up.
Yeah, no worries. You can pause it, I think, on the website, can't you?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah, so I'll tell you when we get to 2:30, just so everyone also can sync up in the chat if you want to watch along. It's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There we go.
And am I still 4 seconds ahead? Why? What's he doing? Let me try on that.
This is gone horrific.
2:36, 3:7, 3:8.
4:5.
I'm trying. Oh God, I'm either going to be 2 seconds behind on PlayStation or 3 seconds ahead.
Well, Danny Olmo,
laptop.
Christopher Nkunku and Rico gets his first hands on the ball. We'll try and eventually sort it. Probably best to do it at half time more than anything. Yeah,
we should be all right to sync it up at some point. I'm going to try and see if I can get this to get a bit more synced up. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, no worries.
What's yours on now? 319, 320?
Yeah, you're 1 second. Literally, that's fine.
There we go. That's sorted. Yeah. I just keep refreshing the PlayStation stream, so we're all sorted now.
And we can actually. It's been a slow start. Yeah, because it's been a slow start. We've been trying to sync up, but the header from Nkunku is going to fall to Kimpembe, who gets it clear against Sabitzer. And luckily, during that syncing up period, nothing happened, which is lucky for us.
Very lucky, but I think from the brief little things I've seen here, obviously very similar to the first game that Leipzig played, started on the front foot here against PSG, getting a bit of possession. And first small opportunity wasn't anything too big. I saw the opportunity, which Rico just bundled towards. Nothing too dangerous, but it's hopefully we can get a good start here.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. I think Leipzig have had the better of the first opening possessions and a good chance for Christopher Nkunku. It was a double deflection, so all the pace was took off it when it entered Sergio Rico's hands. But really, really good start for RB Leipzig. And they're on the ball here on the right-hand side, but Danny Olmo's touch goes astray, and it's out for a PSG throw-in.
Chris has put, Tuchel has his own Bielsa chair.
He does. It's a cooling box, and it's quite brilliant.
Oh, of course, he's still got his crutches. I mean, we saw him in the last game when they scored the winner, when we were celebrating, and I noticed he dropped his crutches to the floor and started like proper celebrating like mad. It just reminded me, have you ever seen the video of the granddad with the crutches? He just like pushes them away and starts dancing.
No,
that's exactly what Tuchel's like. If anybody's seen it, you'll understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I now need to know what you're talking about, so I'll get that one searched up eventually.
But 5 minutes in here, we've had no goals yet. We already had about 2 when Bayern Munich played Barcelona. What's going on?
That was a game I didn't do.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it just on paper it looked like such a good match. And I mean, when you look at these two semi-finals, of course, they're less. I wouldn't say they're as big as last year's. Yeah, you could say, you know, the Barca Liverpool and the Ajax Spurs, but they're very open matches because, you know, all 4 of these sides. I think we said last night in the Europa League that these teams will start dreaming now of winning this competition. And you never know what could happen. But PSG are in here. Neymar! Oh!
He's hit the post. And it was, as we said, in the opening stages of the game the other night, Neymar has the golden opportunity to give PSG the lead, but he prods it off the post. It happens on the left. Mbappe squares up Mukiele and puts a lovely ball in between Mukiele and Upamecano, and Neymar runs onto it and prods it towards goal past Galaxy, but it's just hit the outside of the post.
It's a good opportunity. I don't know whether you'd agree with me here. The pace of the ball, it was just hit a little bit too hard, which means Neymar can't necessarily get the right kind of touch on the ball to put it into the back of the net. But already his finishing looks much better. Galaxy's made a mistake. Oh, he's in. Oh, what's he doing? But he's going to be offside.
Oh, it's handball. It's handball. Unbelievable. The ball went to Peter Galaxy, former Hull City legend. He went to clear it. It hit Neymar. It's unfair to see whether it hit him in the hand or not. And then it fell to Mbappe, who prodded it into an open net. A calamity at the back.
Well, he not convincing. We saw, of course, yesterday with Piatov in the Shakhtar game. He made a couple of mistakes, passed the ball out. We said before kickoff that Galaxy looked very nervous in that last match. And, well, he just nearly gave PSG the lead. And Was that handball?
I think it's one of them where any goal that involves a hand is not allowed to be given. So therefore, it led to the goal. And I think, unfortunately, Neymar can't do anything about it. He's literally like this. But because it hits a hand and then goes in, it's got to be given, sadly, against Neymar.
Well, it's a shame, isn't it? 7 minutes in, we could have had the first goal of the match, and Galacki is very, very lucky. And, well, it might not be lucky here for PSG because Sabitza's bombing down the right-hand side. A mistake at the back here. Lovely cutting. He's going to cross this in. Lays it short to Kevin Campbell, just outside of the box. Now back to Sabitzer. Trying to cross it in towards the path. Oh, Angelina's getting there. Cleared away. And, well, it was a good opportunity. It was laid towards
Di Maria, long ball behind. Mbappe, he won't reach it. What a start.
Already the pace of this is much quicker than the Europa League matches, and you can kind of tell the quality of the Champions League games, in my opinion, have been 100 times better than the Europa League. That's no offence, because the Europa League's been fantastic, but the pace of these games within the first 10 or 15 minutes, they're going for it.
An absolutely unbelievable start. And it was a mistake from Paredes that led the ball to Sabitzer when he nicked it to bomb down the right. Teams, you can tell it's their first time at this stage for a very long time in PSG. I think it's been 20 years since they've been at this similar stage. And Leipzig, it's the first time. So I think the nerves are there. It's who's going to capitalise. And again, it's given away by PSG on the left. It's Olmo outside. He passes it to Sabitzer.
Some silky footwork.
Oh,
well, he might have scored a volley against Zenit right at the start of the campaign, but he's hit this one from long range. It's a simple save for Rico, and it's a great, great start. Both teams going for it, and this is exactly what we want at this stage of the competition. Remember, it's one-legged, which means no away goals count if you haven't been watching the competition so far, and that was a pivotal opportunity, not just for Leipzig, but for, of course, PSG a moment ago with that Neymar opportunity, as we were about to hit the 10th minute of this game. Here come PSG, Neymar in the middle of the pitch right now, and he's being fouled, and, well, the referee has to give a free kick there, and he's probably going to get a lot of tackles on him tonight. Sabitzer just having a talking to there from the referee, and no cards coming out early, but of course it's absolutely a foul and a good decision there from the referee.
It's a brilliant tackle by Mukiele on the left, and honestly, you can't take a breath during this opening stages because every free kick's being taken quickly. No one's being patient tonight. And maybe it's starting to hit home that they really do need to take the games to these teams with only one game now before the final.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a very different game yesterday. Just very quickly, though, Bernat trying to whip a ball into the box. We're going to get our first corner of the game here. But I think you can tell the approach in the Europa League's been more defensive, but the Champions League's been quite the opposite, hasn't it? There's been a lot of teams going, straight away attacking and not messing about.
I think in the first half,
Madrid.
I was about to say, in the first half of games, some teams have really been slow to get going, but once they get going, it's electric. And Di Maria with a cross in, it's found the head of Marquinhos, and he's claiming another corner, and I think he might get
handball. He's claiming handball there.
I thought he was claiming a corner. Let's have a look. No, it's hit Paulson on the head.
Well, I don't know why he kind of went and pointed to his hand there. I don't know what he's seen. I mean, maybe, of course, as you said, he's probably might be asking for a corner as well, but you can see him pointing towards his hand. It's nowhere near. It's his head.
Yeah, Di Maria. 1-2 with Neymar, and that's going to go out again for a PSG corner. They tried a quick corner there. They mixed it up a little bit. Neymar to Di Maria on the left, trying something different.
Well, Chris in the stream will love short corners. He knows that experience in the Champions League semi-finals of short corners.
Neymar will give it to Di Maria again. It's another short routine. They've clearly worked on these. But that one's going to be... Oh!
And that is, I think, the right decision there.
Lima's upended Neymar as they went for the short corner. I thought he'd overrun it, and I thought the routine was dead. But Lima has, yes, upended Neymar. And it might be even a better position than the corner was, to be honest.
I mean, this has been, although it's been very stop-start in this first 10 minutes, it's been, as you said just a couple of moments ago, there's no chance to kind of sink in what's just happened because it's chance after chance, and we could potentially have our first goal here from a set piece.
Yeah, Neymar stands over it. He's free kicks in the Champions League might become his thing.
I can see this going towards the back post.
Di Maria's over it as well. Di Maria does take it. It's in!
It's in! Oh! quarterfinals, strikes again, and Paris Saint-Germain have taken the lead. Brilliant
Maybe
goal.
with all the attacking flair on the pitch, it's an unlikely goal scorer as Marquinhos nods on from a whipped ball from Di Maria. It's lovely. It's into the area where the keeper can't get it. And Marquinhos just nods the ball on into the corner. Oh, great start.
That is an absolutely outstanding goal. I mean, you can see here Neymar, he doesn't even take it. Di Maria's the one who takes it. Marquinhos, he's there. He's not even been marked. It's an outstanding header. Galacki was not going to save that. And PSG, 12 minutes on the clock. As I said before, the hero of the quarterfinals might be the hero of the semi-finals. 1-0 PSG.
It's an unbelievable header. It gets better every time you look at it. And from a man who plied his trade at the back, he's not too bad going forward because he's got back-to-back goals in back-to-back games. Game on.
What an outstanding header. Absolutely. I mean, of course, Chris put free header there. Bernat's put beautiful stadium. It really is. I agree with you on that one. But that is just a naturally good centre-back's header and lovely finish and a well-worked set piece from PSG. Credit to him there. What a start.
Yeah, and Leipzig once have minded the start they made, but now they find themselves 1-0 down and with it all to do with 10 minutes gone. But they are coming forward again as Nkunku picks it up, who obviously used to play for PSG.
Absolutely. And, well, can he maybe have a bit of vengeance against them tonight? And just with the way that this game feels right now, don't count them out because they've had a couple of opportunities themselves. But as we said before, these teams have gone fairly attacking in their approaches to the systems and their formations tonight. This could be a very interesting game.
It has. I mean, it has been so far, which is unbelievable. You know, we're just nearly 15 minutes in and we've had a really, really fast-paced start.
Absolutely, and hopefully they can keep it up. Chris has put keep the sports corner electric commentary going. We love a goal. We love goals. We're passion merchants. That's what we are.
Yeah. We are. We love it when a goal goes in. And we said at the start of the game, and just in these opening passages, both teams look very shaky defensively and making mistakes. And PSG have capitalised with a lovely, lovely free header from Marquinhos. I've got a question where the marking is.
I've got a question there. Why it's taken so long for the referee to make a decision? Because everyone had stopped play for a moment there.
That's why I was confused. I kind of stopped because I didn't know whether Nkunku was breaking, but no, it was given as a free kick by the referee.
And well, as a neutral, Kieran, in a game like this, how you said, of course, about these two defences being shaky, that's exactly what the neutral wants. They want both defences to be shaky, both teams to really go for it because although, of course, we've had plenty of goals from sides, we haven't had a game that's been a 3-2 or a 4-3. Two teams that are looking shaky at the back. It's, we've had a couple of big results, 4-1s and 8-2s, but who knows what could happen because PSG coming forward here, but some great defending from Leipzig means they could counter-attack. Although a fantastic tackle there. Referee's giving advantage. Di Maria tries to get the ball in play, and RB Leipzig get a throw-in.
Yeah, it's going to be a throw-in. It's a good tackle by Thilo Kehrer to stop the break, but he's unable to prevent the throw-in. And yeah, we've seen a few high-scoring games, but they've not been tight high-scoring games. It's been 5-0. As you say, Campbell has given the ball away again, and it's to Mbappe. And it's a bit of a miscommunication between...
Mbappe! Oh, he's missed it! Oh, well, Tuchel, he's turned around on his box. He's not smashing it this time, Kieran. Don't you worry. He's just swiveled around. He's not bashing it yet, but he's probably thinking to himself, how has Mbappe missed that?
I wondered whether he was offside, and I'm not sure if VAR would have checked it. He might have been. But Ander Herrera and Di Maria seem to have a miscommunication. Ander Herrera took control. He slotted a lovely ball in behind the defence. And then Mbappe was onto it, but Galaxy stayed firm. Neymar will take the corner. The corner will come in. It's been headed away, and it's going to be offside. I was going to say it's headed away and nothing comes of it.
Oh, well, it's another great opportunity there for PSG to get a 2-goal lead within the first 16 minutes. And RB Leipzig, they need to watch out. They can't let their heads drop. We saw Shakhtar last night against Inter Milan. They dropped their heads after going 2-0 down. But right now, Leipzig, they need to just get a feel for the ball, take their time here and not rush about because there's plenty of time left in this game.
Yeah, sorry, I was holding in a sneeze there. It looked like I was having an aneurysm.
I was about to say, you're right, Kieran.
No, sorry, I'm holding in a sneeze.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, Angelino, hit it.
It's got to be a corner. It's got to be a corner. It
Oh.
is. Leipzig came forward, and the width that Angelino creates, it does mean that Di Maria is going to have to track back tonight. He does well there, but it's a deflection off Ander Herrera, and it's a corner for Leipzig.
Well, if they can make a good opportunity here, it could be 2 goals from 2 set pieces. Sergio Rico, remember, it's his first start in quite some time. Can they score from this?
And Kunku crosses it in. Oh, he's missed everyone.
Oh, well, you can see, I think it was a Upamecano just towards the back stick there. He just couldn't get a touch of the ball from that crossing, and it's a poor set piece there.
And it looks as if the captain tonight is down. He's spitting out blood. It must have been a knock to the face.
It's not good there, of course. Thiago Silva, depending on the result of tonight's game, if they do lose, it'll be his final game for the club. But of course, if they're not, what a way to bow out of the club, potentially winning their first ever Champions League. I mean, it'd be fantastic for them to do so, especially for Thiago Silva. But you never know with so much time left. We're only about 16, 17 minutes in here, and hopefully he'll be able to play on.
Yeah, he's been a stalwart of the club for so long now, and this would be the perfect way for him to exit. But we'll have a bit of stoppage in play, and it's the first time we've really had one apart from corners and free kicks tonight.
It just feel like a little drinks break now, doesn't it, for these sides? And I think, if anything, it's come at the right time for PSG.
We're just getting replays of that goal, and yes, he's free. The marking's poor, but what a wonderful header by Marquinhos, and the keeper stood no chance. And it's just a really good start for PSG, the perfect start after a really difficult quarter final for them. A very good start tonight.
Absolutely. It's just such an outstanding header, and you can see that this squad does have very good unity. They were talking before the match on BT, and of course they've got a lot of South American players. They've got, Neymar, Thiago Silva, Di Maria, Marquinhos. They've got Paredes, just to name a couple of the players from Argentina and Brazil that are in this PSG squad. And of course it's a bit of a culture shock for them, you could say, for some of these players, but they've got a fantastic squad. And you can see in the celebrations we saw just a moment ago on our screens, Marquinhos and Neymar jumping up and bumping each other in the previous game when Mbappe and Neymar were celebrating the second goal. They've got a very good squad unity, and could that be such an important factor for this side to get them a potential Champions League under their belt?
Well, we spoke about them in previous years, and for many periods in that Atalanta game, they looked like they'd given up. They didn't look like they believed. They didn't quite have the mentality or the spirit to make a comeback. But now they've done that. I think that might be a really integral part to the belief of this squad going forward. Because I feel when that goal went in at Atalanta, they all turned their heads and went, "Here we go again, yet again another year." And then the moment they've had that churn of fortune, I would say, might be the time where this squad realizes we are together and we can do this, which I think so far tonight you've definitely seen.
It's the result that flicked the switch in this side. As you said, it's year on year they've had the upsets, the Barcelona upset to name one, Manchester United's late winner. It's probably the result they will look back on if they do win this competition, said that was the game that won it for them. But another mistake here by RB Leipzig gives the ball to Paris Saint-Germain. Mbappe is taken down. Referee says no. He's got the ball back. He's done very well there, and some good defending means Leipzig can get the ball away for a potential counter-attack.
And they can. It's a lovely 1-2 between Olmo and Lima. Olmo goes for the switch. It's an incredibly poor ball, and Thilo Kehrer takes it down nicely. And PSG can kind of settle back into the game, but it's a poor clearance by Sergio Rico. Olmo pick it up. That's going to be a foul, but Campbell will run onto it, and I'm not sure whether they'll give the foul.
I would have thought there the referee had given the foul.
He has.
Yeah, he's spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a really good chance there for Kevin Campbell to get through on goal. He was being very tightly marked. I mean, I don't know how Olmo's been able to get it to him, and it's just brilliant defending there from PSG. But of course, the referee has given the foul, and they need to make something of this free kick. We've already seen PSG get one. Can RB Leipzig used their free kick to their advantage.
Yeah, the ball got away from Yusuf Poulsen. Olmo managed to prod it towards Kevin Campbell, but got took out in the process. And the ball that followed went out for a corner, but the referee did pull it back, because I don't think there was much of an advantage for the referee to give. And is it Marcel Sabitzer standing over it? It is.
Well, he's a very good dead piece specialist. And
yeah, it's a good position.
I think this is going in.
Oh, it's over.
It's poor. It's poor. It's one of those situations you see it and you think, this is the opportunity. And I tell you, quite frankly, it isn't. But they have got another corner from it. It comes off the ball and out of play. So maybe this is the opportunity to stick it in the back of the net. Angelino's going to take this corner.
That was going in until Josh said it was going in.
He heard me all the way from Rotherham and thought, that's it.
Angelino will whip the ball in. It's attacked at the back post, but Poulsen won't get there. And they've got to make do with his height, because if you look at the centre-backs, and maybe apart from Kimpembe, we talked about this last game, Silva and Marquinhos, they're not the tallest for centre-backs, whereas Yusuf Poulsen provides height. Mukiele, Upamecano, even Klosterman, all very, very tall men, and hopefully they can kind of make do with these set pieces.
They have to tonight. They have to. As you said, you look at the defence of PSG, and although they are fantastic, fantastic defenders, some of Europe's elites, they're not the most tallest in height. Of course, I said Kimpembe is one of the tallest defenders, standing at 6'2". Thiago Silva is only 6 foot himself. So there is that potential opportunity to use set piece opportunities against PSG. But a question, of course, is can this Leipzig side, use their previous win, use their determination, and use the flexibility of their squad? As we said at the start of the show, the formation's always changing. Can they use that to their advantage? Because right now, it's been a bit of a poor start from them, and I can see PSG maybe scoring a couple more.
Yeah, they've not managed to really have too many opportunities. They started the game really well in the opening minutes, but since then it's got away from them, and I think that that goal did knock the stuff in, but they are starting to slowly build something, and it's gone over the top on the right-hand side to Conrad Lima, providing it from right wing back, and he's headed it on.
It's a lovely touch. It's a lovely... Oh!
How has he missed?
I thought he was in. Is it the side netting like Raheem Sterling against Italy all over again? I thought that was in. I mean, Conrad Lima there, just fantastic. Heads it down, then heads it down again to get round Bernat, and somehow he's missed it.
That's it. He's running on the thing. He knows Paredes can't tackle him as he enters the box, and he pulls it back. Great movement from Poulsen. He does everything right, but the finish is poor, and that's where you miss Timo Werner, because Timo Werner, for me, is putting that away.
I just think right now as well that Poulsen's confidence is short. I mean, if you compare it to last season, when he was alongside Timo, he was scoring quite a lot of goals in this season. Although he has scored a couple of goals here and there, he's not had as much game time for Leipzig. And it's really a question, maybe next season, do Leipzig go out and try and buy another attacker to join forces with Poulsen? But he's got to be scoring that. 1-1, 25 minutes in, it really opens the game up again. Poor miss from the Danish striker.
Yeah, we spoke about that last stream. I think me and Rowan said maybe they have a ready-made replacement in Hwang Hee-chan. Maybe they believe he can kind of lead the line going forward for years to come. But, you question, Poulsen, he always gives 110%, but the finishing's not quite there all the time. So, Patrick Schick on the bench, a much more clinical finisher. He might not always give the running that Yusuf Poulsen does, but he definitely gives that extra clinical striking edge.
Absolutely. I do think if the squad is still like this, we will see him come on at some point. They brought him on in that last game that Leipzig did play quite late on, actually, I think. So we will probably see him tonight. One of the only players as well, actually, to be registered and played for two teams. Of course, played for Roma as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything. But there's plenty of time left. There's no rush. They've got another, 65 minutes and a bit of additional time as well. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, foul given for Yusuf Poulsen as he climbs for a header, but he actually climbs on Bernat's head, which
I mean, he's absolutely toppled him there.
Yeah, he has. He really has. Bernat's not the tallest, so it's quite easy to jump over him, but he really has took him out, and it's a free kick to PSG.
Chris has put, he thinks Bayern Munich will win it. I expect them to do a job on whoever they face now, in my opinion. And he says every time needs an Origi in their squad, otherwise you've got no chance on the corners. Well, maybe that's what Leipzig are missing.
yeah, maybe that's who Leipzig are going to buy to replace Timo. They've seen Divock, and they think
I
he
actually
knows.
think he'd be a good fit for them.
Yeah, I remember when Batshuayi went to Dortmund. He never got really a chance at Chelsea. Them sort of players, they could find a nice home in the Bundesliga. I think it's a great league to really to cut your teeth in and start making yourself a starting man.
I mean, Origi's not the slowest player in the world, is he?
No.
At the end of the day, he is good, and I think it probably would do him a favour going out there and getting some game time. But PSG in the attack here, Kehrer trying to loft a ball into the box towards Mbappe, and well, of course, he's playing right back tonight. You could tell why. You probably wouldn't usually play him there. Really poor cross.
Yeah, it was, and I love with PSG every time someone receives the ball in the midfield, they turn and try and attack. No one's going backwards. They're not playing sideways passes. Everything is fast-paced, attacking football with PSG tonight. And when they're at their best, they really are one of the best teams in Europe at attacking.
Absolutely, indeed. We've just seen, of course, Julian Nagelsmann on the touchline. What I love about Julian Nagelsmann is the change of outfit for every single game. You saw, of course, when we were in the Bundesliga when it returned, he was wearing just a natural shirt and Nike trainers. Then in the previous game, he came in the suit and tie. And now today he's coming like a royal purple shirt with a purple tie. And he's got the suit as well. He looks lovely tonight.
He does, and it'll look even better if he's leading his team to a final. I'm sure he'll have asked the local suit maker to get him a special Champions League final one just for.
He'll have a tuxedo. I could expect him coming out with a tuxedo and everything. He'll have like the opera, like tail curtain type suit.
Yeah, and as long as he has a pocket watch, like just at the top there, like an old-fashioned pocket watch.
Oh, but I mean, as well, of course, PSG Tuchel tonight. He's kind of dressed. A little bit differently, isn't he? He's got the tracksuit on tonight.
Well, I don't think the suit pants will have fit over the cast, to be honest.
No, and to be fair, I don't think he's the type of manager to wear suits. I think the majority of his career, he has been a tracksuit type of guy. But you can kind of tell over the last couple of minutes, this game has just winged out a little bit in terms of excitement because we're talking about Thomas Tuchel in a tracksuit.
Yeah, we are. We are. But no discredit because the game was fast-paced for a good 25 minutes, but I think both teams are just kind of happy with just a little bit back to feeling out and no one upping the pace too much. But I'm sure when PSG are going through the gears, we'll be able to see it.
Absolutely. Who knows what's going to happen? We've got about 15 minutes left before the first half of this game finishes. Chris says he wants Origi to stay, club legend and hero. I think he will stay, but I think it'd be a great fit. Trying to loft a ball up into the path of Di Maria, Neymar there, and well, he's just kind of put a thumbs up at Neymar there for the pass, but unfortunately couldn't get anything, and Glatschke is able to get the ball into his hands and clear it away.
He is slowed down. We're now reaching the half an hour mark on the game, and it's more. I think one thing we talked about the dead balls earlier. There are some niggly fouls in the middle that are really becoming frustrating to the flow of the game.
Yeah, it's very stop-start. I mean, of course, the position for the foul earlier, that was much closer to the box than the one that's just been given. In fact, it is in PSG's defensive half of plays. I mean, good for PSG in that sense, but Leipzig, they just need to calm down a little bit. I think they're getting a bit too ferocious with the fouls, and I would expect the referee to start bringing out some yellow cards soon. Yeah,
I think they need to realise that, the game has still got a long time to go. They don't have to constantly try and hassle everyone, keep kicking the back of their ankles. And look, they've given it away now, and it's another foul. They just need to calm down a little bit, do RB Leipzig tonight.
Yeah, I'm surprised, as I said, the referee's not come out yet, and given the first, they're not massively bad fouls, but no. I'm very surprised, that the ref hasn't actually come out and given the first yellow card and just said, look, we're trying to keep the flow to the game here. First kind of yellow card coming out, that's your warning. Any more fouls start coming in, the tally of the yellow cards will go up because PSG, they're not really being aggressive with their fouls. In fact, I can't really remember the last time they gave a set piece away, apart from that free kick a couple of minutes ago. But just a little bit too aggressive here, Leipzig, in these first few minutes.
Yeah, PSG, definitely the stronger side. They're keeping hold of the ball really well. They're passing it around really well. There's no negative so far from PSG's performance, in my opinion.
No, it's been a very good performance, to be honest. They've not had a great deal of opportunities on goal, but to be honest, I think it's very tough to try and get through this RB Leipzig defence. But they've made the most of the opportunities they've had, and we talked about that last game between Inter Milan and Shakhtar, where it was quite the opposite, and Inter Milan had a lot of opportunities, and it was kind of 1-0 for quite a large period of time. But I think it's been a very good performance so far from PSG. Chris has asked, by the way, about Julian Nagelsmann. He says, is Nagelsmann the next Klopp in the Bundesliga? Klopp started at Mainz, then successful at Dortmund. Can Nagelsmann do the same? He started at Hoffenheim, then now at RB Leipzig.
I think Nagelsmann, it depends what he means by the next Klopp. I think he's a brilliant manager in his own right. I think what is unprecedented is how young he is for doing what he's doing. Not that Klopp's old by any means, but Nagelmann's, is he 33 or something?
Yeah, he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah, so I think he's got such a long and successful career ahead of him that he doesn't need to be the next Klopp. I think he just needs to be the first Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I think to be fair, he's probably the type of person that if he was asked, "Are you the next Klopp?" he would probably say what you said and be like, "I'd like to be my own person. I don't want to be seen as, being the next manager or being someone else." He's a lovely manager, and to be at the top of your game this early, I mean, for both managers tonight, it is also their first semi-finals, and it's good to see because, of course, we remember years ago when Mourinho first hit the scene at Porto. Yeah. That was at the age of 41. And for Nagelsmann to do it in his mid-30s, we will see a younger generation of managers coming up over the next couple of years. I mean, you can see, obviously, Arteta, Arsenal being one of those managers, Gerrard at Rangers. And it's great to see a lot of younger kind of people coming to management.
Yeah, and I think as well, full credit to Thomas Tuchel, because he's finally got over the duck that PSG had to go this far. He's the first manager in a while to do this with PSG. And, if he does go on to a final, and even if he comes up short, I think he can be really proud of what he's done with these players. As Neymar whips in a free kick, it's drilled. He went for the near post, and he almost caught out Peter Galaxy.
Well, it feels very susceptible tonight, Peter Galaxy, to opportunities. And I think Neymar knows that. He's just kind of had a chuckle there. And he looks very unconvincing tonight. Look at how far away he is from the goal and how Neymar can see there's acres of space to get an opportunity on goal. And I'm a little bit worried with Galaxy here, Kieran, because that is another opportunity where he could have given a goal away. Well,
I think he went to the David Raya School of Positioning from free kicks, because that was sloppy. He left his front post wide open. But luckily for Leipzig, they're kind of riding the luck a little bit, but they're on the right side of it at the moment. But the ball's been given away, and Neymar can bring it down. And they're just going to slow things down, PSG. There's no need to rush.
It's been a very good 35 minutes, and to add to your point a moment ago about Thomas Tuchel, he might finally be one of the first managers that, if they don't win the competition, he doesn't get sacked, because he's just naturally done a good job for them. And I think even the hierarchy, if they don't win it, they'll be still, of course, slightly disappointed, but they'll appreciate how well PSG have done, because I said before, of course, in that first game when they played Atalanta the kind of last week, that I think a lot of people forget that their group stage, they were top of their group. They didn't lose to Real Madrid. They won against Club Brugge. It wasn't the easiest group in the world, and to come out top of that group, it was fantastic. And they've had such a good run that, fair play to Tuchel, because he's got something to build on, even if they don't win it.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot's been said about PSG managers of the past, which is they can go forward, but they can't defend. Even against Atalanta, usually maybe a PSG team of the past would have conceded more. They would have kind of not mentally been there. So hopefully it's a start of a really good tenure for Thomas Tuchel, because PSG managers don't last very long usually.
No, and I think the PSG of old would have probably had Muriel on goal and equalising in the 90th minute and having to go to extra time. And I mean, of course, that was more Muriel than anything for missing that opportunity. But this PSG side is just so much different to the yesteryear. This is as I said, the squad unity, I think, is much better than previous years. If you look back to the 2012, 2013 squad when Matuidi had just joined, Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva. It was a lot of brand new players with big egos. And I think now it's still a lot of big players as PSG come forward here. Mbappe trying to adjust his body to get an opportunity on goal, but he does get the slightest of touches, but goes straight into the hands of Galacki. But I think squad unity has been the important thing for PSG that they've improved on in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you'd like to think that finally they've got a team that everyone believes in each other. But again, Leipzig, it was Lima with a sloppy pass. Neymar, reverse ball. He's on the end of it. He's going to try and find Mbappe, breezes past one tackle, but last ditch defending, and they've given the ball away again.
Got to clear the lines. And the referee.
Nagelsmann will not be happy with what he's seeing because it's a bit like Shakhtar Donetsk last night. The concentration levels, I don't know what's happened to RB Leipzig, but they're giving the ball away every single attack at this rate.
And even the referee's giving the ball away. What's he doing there?
It's going to be a drop ball.
Welcome, buddy. He says, remember me, it's Harrison and Carol. I do indeed. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're all good, pal. And Little Bear's in the stream as well. Welcome, Little Bear. Nice to see you again. He says, PSG will score very easy, 2 or 3 goals to Leipzig, an opponent much easier than Atalanta. Do you agree with that? Do you think Leipzig are easier than Atalanta?
No, I don't think so. I think both teams have their merits. Both teams have their pros and their cons. But I think defensively, I think Leipzig are a better team, probably. And I think going forward, maybe Atalanta edge it a little bit with the likes of Ilicic and Gomez, and obviously now Leipzig without Timo Werner. So I think they're very similar. But if I put them two up against each other, I think as a squad, Leipzig would probably nick it, in my opinion, as a better team.
Yeah, I think if you merge the squads together, you'd have Leipzig's defence, a mixture of Leipzig and Atalanta's midfield, and then Atalanta's attack, to put it in the best way. I think that's the one weakness which Leipzig have got, which is the strikers right now, which they know that's their weakness because they want to go out there and, of course, sign a striker, and they've already signed Huang Ki-chan as well, so they're lucky to build on that. But I think RB Leipzig are probably a little bit more structurally organised defensively than Atalanta. Of course, they are 1 goal down here, but it's been poor in this first 40 minutes for Leipzig. Not had many opportunities at all. And do you think maybe we'll see a change or two in the second half if it stays like this?
I don't know if they'll rush. I don't think they'll rush into changes. I don't think it's been so bad in this first half. You know, they've been put and they can't deal with Mbappe. A quick 1-2, and he's in behind Mukiele again. And he's on this left-hand side. It's through the legs of Upamecano, and it's last-ditch defending for RB Leipzig, as it has been for the majority of this first half. They've not been a shambles, but they're second to everything, and they're making their own mistakes. It's just not the Leipzig you want to see.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are playing pretty much into PSG's hands right now. It's very open at the back. Of course, the great thing is they have got Mukiel and Upamecano, and Klosterman as well, who, for 3 centre-backs, have got the pace to be able to trap back against these fast forwards in Di Maria, Neymar and Mbappe. But just the attack right now, they just can't seem to really get anything going. And Poulsen, he had that one decent opportunity, but they need to do something in the second half or try and get a goal before half-time, because right now it's been very poor. And a couple of questions in the chat have come in, by the way. Alexa's asked, do you think if PSG don't win the Champions League now, they won't ever?
No, because Bayern are so good. Bayern are so good at the moment that this year, if they don't beat Bayern Munich, there is no shame in losing to that Bayern Munich side. Whereas, you know, in future years, we don't know how football, which teams will come up and who would have thought Barcelona would have capitulated like that 2 or 3 years ago? You never would have guessed it. So one day that time will come, a bit like Man City. I'm sure one day they'll win the Champions League if they keep pumping endless amounts of money into the clubs. So I don't think it'll be their last chance to win it.
And the thing is, if they can keep Mbappe around, you know, he's still so young. You're going to get another good 10, 15 years out of him. Mm-hmm. And in this PSG side, as you said, it's got loads of cash.
Galaxi's giving it away.
It's got to be surely! Oh, it's the magic Argentinian, but it's not really magic because Galacki has just given PSG their second goal, and well, is the architect of Leipzig's downfall tonight, because he's given away just a simple tap-in to Di Maria. And just as we were talking about half-time and maybe some substitutions in the second half and how Leipzig can go out, they're 2-0 down, and Galacki is catastrophic.
It's a simple pass into the midfield where he tries to reach, I think it's Marcel Sabitzer, and he completely misses him. I've got no idea what it is. Then Ander Herrera whips the ball in. It just evades Neymar. Who's there? The Argentinian, Di Maria. Like a fine wine gets better with age. And he slots it past Galaxy, who, rightly so, looks in despair because he has really had a poor night tonight.
It's another stinker of a goalkeeper performance. He's let his team down tonight so far, and it's going to be a massive team talk for Nagelsmann. You can see him on the screen now. It looks like he's crying after that second goal has gone in, probably because he wants to sub Galacki off. But he's been poor tonight so far, and PSG, they're coming forward to get it really. Could be 3-0. Here comes Neymar, is in the middle of the field. It sounded like a horse racing commentator, but nothing comes from that chance. And, well, the risk is now, could the floodgates open if they don't get a hold of this match?
Leipzig are begging for the half-time whistle right now. I think they would have been happy at 1-0, had it been the worst performance. But at 2-0 now, with the mistakes they've been making, something needs to change. They need to switch on because they are exiting the tournament with a whimper at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, if they could do my prediction and make it 2-2 for extra time and penalties, that would be lovely. Here comes Angelino. Maybe one opportunity before half-time. It could be a chance here. And Nkunku right on the edge of the left-hand side of the box. Back to Angelino, who tries to cross it in. And it's a poor cross from the Spaniard, who might have just let PSG go on the counter-attack here.
Mbappe's pure pace. He thinks he's managed it one-on-one against Klosterman. Klosterman dives in and tackles. But he still, with Mbappe, squares it. Neymar! Oh, he's missed it.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I tell you what, it really is PSG's night right now. Mbappe, blistering pace. He waits. He can see the run of Neymar, and he's got to score that first opportunity in the first 5 minutes. It was understandable as to why he missed it. But I'm pretty sure, Kieran, you'd agree that he should be 3-0.
Neymar in these last two games has had everything but a goal. And Leipzig now, will they want to put a sucker punch to PSG before the second half? Lima.
The pace has increased in these last couple of minutes.
Yeah, that switch up before to Angelino was so much better. And he's free here on the left-hand side again. He's going to get the cross in. It's over everyone. But Di Maria attempts to keep it in. He might have just put the team under even more pressure.
It's it. Still a chance. Sabitzer hits it. It goes into Rosed, and I'm pretty sure we might have just seen Julian Draxler's ball from the previous game actually just drop back down to the stadium, and I think Sabitzer's has just gone into orbit.
I don't understand. We're looking back at the replay of Galaxy's clearance. It's a simple pass. It's just outside the box. You learn that at such an early age. Absolutely. So poor from him. A lot of people in here tonight. If you are new, of course, as always, and you've enjoyed these watch-alongs so far, do leave a like and subscription. We're going to be doing a lot more watch-alongs ahead of the next football season. Of course, we still have the two finals coming up and the other semi-final tomorrow. We'll talk about that at half-time. We've got about a minute and a half left of the first half. It's RB Leipzig 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2 in a game of just blunders from the goalkeeper, to be honest, and just been a poor performance so far from this Leipzig side. It has. I mean, they had a goal early on, which Galaxy kicked into Neymar. It was disallowed for handball. And now, finally, in that instance, his blushes were spared. But they're not in that most recent instance. He's given the ball away. It's sacrilege. It really is. That you should never be making that mistake in a Champions League semi-final. And maybe the nerves are truly getting to this young, inexperienced Leipzig team.
It's crazy, though, because you think to yourself, he's one of the more experienced players on the pitch. He's one of the oldest players. And, we said before in the other match when Leipzig played that he didn't even look convincing in that match. And it's a shame because they're the masters of their own downfall right now, Leipzig. And, of course, the goalkeeper's mainly going to be to blame. It could have been 4-5. Remember, there was the opportunity that was given as a handball to Neymar in a situation where he couldn't move out of the way or do anything. And right now, they just need to get into half-time. And Nagelsmann's got to give the team talk of his life because we haven't had a massive comeback yet. We have had PSG, of course, come back from 1 goal down but 2 goals. Can they potentially do it, Leipzig, against the side that had a comeback in the previous match?
Oh, no. He chipped it over Kimpembe, and it is going to be a foul. It is.
I think
so they'll end the half with a free kick. They nicked the ball off PSG in the centre of the park. Olmo went to chip it over the head of Kimpembe. Very clever from Kimpembe. Just backs his body into Dani Olmo. And it is given a yellow card as well for Presnel Kimpembe. Marquinhos very sloppy in the midfield. And they'll end the half with a set piece. This will change the team talk massively.
Well, they need to get something from this. They've got plenty of players in the box that can head this into the back of the net. You've got Pamecano, Canate, just to name a couple. Poulsen, of course, being the tallest player. They have to score before half-time, because if they do, it changes the team talk up and everything. And this is a good opportunity. It's going to be lofted in by Angelino, and it's such a poor ball. Terrible. But it's going to come down here.
Mukiele lifts it in. And I've got to admit, for the build-up, that was horrific from Angelino. I don't know if Angelino took it too quickly, because there didn't seem to be any runners. There just appeared to be 3 PSG defenders lining up all together to clear the ball. There was no Leipzig shirt in sight. So it's so poor from RB Leipzig.
It really is poor, but it's half-time of this game. RB Leipzig 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2. There's 24 people in here right now. If you're new, of course, as always, we're 1 subscriber away from 670, so do leave a subscription. And, of course, if you are here, talk in the chat. If you've got any questions about the game, any questions about European football, we'll talk about those at half-time. And then, of course, in 15 minutes, we'll get back underway with this game. But, of course, it's not just about this game as well. We have another semi-final coming up in the actually tomorrow night, not the next couple of days, as you can see on the screen right now. Lyon, they take on Bayern Munich tomorrow night, 8 p.m. UK time. You can join Kieran D and Rowan for that game from 7:45. And then, of course, we have the final on the 23rd of August. PSG right now, 45 minutes away from that final. They will face either Lyon or Bayern Munich. And the whole team will be together. Coverage starting at 7:30 for that game. And we already know as well what's going to happen for the Europa League final, because it will be Sevilla taking on Inter Milan. That's at 8 p.m. on the 21st of August. 3 days to go. Coverage starts from 7:30. Once again, the whole team will be ready and raring to go for that game. But half-time in this match right now, RB Leipzig 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2. Kieran, what do Leipzig have to do to get back into this game?
They've got to make changes. They've got to make changes, be it either tactically or be it personnel on the pitch. Because for me, they have just lacked really anything in this half. They haven't been able to create the chances that this free-throwing Leipzig side do. I don't know whether about you, Josh. I'm thinking maybe put 2 up front. There's no point with 45 minutes now with your European season hanging in the balance. For me, I bring on Patrick Schick and I just go 2 up front and try and maybe take off one of them midfielders and maybe go to a 4 at the back as well, because there is no point in having a defensive setup with 45 minutes to go. I think they've got to check. But also, with the personnel on the pitch, it's been a bad performance, but they've created the mistakes. They've created the opposition's goals. So for me, there needs to be a stern team talk and maybe a tactical switch to 2 up top to try and get some goals back. And I tell you what, Josh, a goal within 5-10 minutes of this second half would test the bottle of this PSG team.
It really would. And I think I totally agree with you. Probably now is going to be the right time after halftime, of course, to make the change. We spoke just before that second goal went in about them not actually having really to make any changes, but that second goal has completely changed everything. And I don't think Galatsky will be getting the nicest of talking to at halftime after 2 pivotal mistakes. I mean, of course, he was very lucky that the first one didn't actually come to a goal and it was given as a handball. The second mistake, catastrophic. Gifting Angel Di Maria, probably one of the easiest finishers the Argentinians ever had in his career. I mean, of course, for anybody in the chat, for everybody who's watching as well, do you think Leipzig can make it, get back into this game and produce what would be a historic comeback? Because remember, of course, they don't have a second leg here to make a comeback. They have to score 2 goals minimum for extra time, 3 goals to win it. We haven't seen a side come back from 2 or 3 goals yet in this competition. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain doing a 1-goal comeback against Atalanta, as did RB Leipzig as well. But they're going to have a big 45 minutes if they want to beat what is an incredibly good and strong Paris Saint-Germain side right now. Let's have a quick look at the chat, see some of the questions that you guys have been putting in for our halftime talk. Of course, the game will kick off in about 7 to 10 minutes time. So one of the questions that's been asked, of course, we spoke earlier. If you're not aware, by the way, Ronald Koeman, he signed a new contract. He signed a contract with his new club, Barcelona, 2-year deal that's going to be. Chris has asked the question, do you think Messi will actually leave Barcelona? And if so, will we see him in the Premier League with Manchester City?
Right. I don't think he will leave Barcelona. I really don't think he will. I think it's sort of like a power move almost, and he's just threatening to leave and just being kind of just maybe tinkering to try and get the changes he wants. We've seen how much power he has over the Argentinian national side. I think he'll be very much similar at Barcelona. He'll be trying to influence the players he wants, the people he doesn't want around. And from the mentality I saw the other night, maybe because his heart didn't seem in it, but I'm not sure if his heart doesn't stay in Barcelona or his heart didn't stay with the project underneath the current regime.
It's a tough time, and I'll let you continue.
No, I'm just saying not Man City. He can go anywhere he wants, not Man City.
Do you think he'd be the right fit for Man City? I mean, when you look at the teams that could probably have enough to pay for him, I think there's 2 teams right now that stand out as the more likely candidates. Of course, one of them being Manchester City with the heavy financial backing that they have. And of course, the other one we talked about after that 8-2 defeat in Inter Milan, not Jiangsu Suning. They are owned by the same company, Suning, which have the financial backing and the money to be able to bring in a player like Lionel Messi. But I mean, Bernardo's actually just put as well, Messi said he will stay now. Of course, Eric Abidal being sacked today from Barcelona as well. But of course, Bernardo's put, who knows? And that's the thing. You never know. But would he be a right fit maybe for Manchester City?
No.
Is that because you don't like Manchester City? Oh. Can you imagine, though? The thing is, if you did go to the Premier League and he just absolutely flopped.
Yeah, I do want to see him move. I really do, because a lot of the argument between Ronaldo and Messi, everyone sits on a certain side of the fence. The people that love Ronaldo will go, he's never done it on the international stage. He's never done it in a different league, whereas Ronaldo has dominated every single place he's gone. So for me, I would love to see Messi prove all them people wrong, go to either Italy, go to, the Premier League, and just completely dominate. But imagine if he doesn't, and then we'll finally know, who's the real GOAT. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, to be fair, they're entitled they're entitled to that status now. They've played for a long time. There's a couple of people kind of answering back to the question that's been asked by Chris. Alexis put, despite the fact I don't really like Barcelona and think Ronaldo is better than Messi, I still think Messi belongs at Barca, and I wouldn't like him to leave. The amount of space Messi would have in England is incredible. The amount of goals he has scored versus English teams shows he would destroy the Premier League. Andre is in the stream, not the footballer. The actual, it could actually be the footballer. You never know. He says, Messi's dream is to play with Neymar, so Messi must come to PSG.
I've got to admit, Andre is very firm. He must come to. There's nowhere else he can go. He must come. But then you're dropping Di Maria, Neymar, or Mbappe. Is there enough? Is there a spot in that 3? Maybe Di Maria obviously getting a little bit older, but look at him tonight. He scored tonight. I just think it'd be unfair to drop any of them 3.
It'd be tough, but of course, I don't think he's going to move. I think, as you said before, it's just a very tactical ploy to either A, get a new contract because it's running out next season, or B, just to ramp up, be the media as well, kind of swarming things about and circling around. Oh, Messi might leave, because they always do it every single year. Chris has put, you make mistakes. It's likely you get punished. It's the name of the game. No sympathy from me right now for Leipzig. You brought it on yourself. Schoolboy errors, but this sums up Leipzig's inexperience up. Yeah, I mean, you could say, of course, PSG's inexperience. They haven't played in a Champions League final before. And, of course, it's very rare they've actually ever made a Champions League semi-final as well. First time these sides have ever come up against each other.
To be fair, though, it's the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but Leipzig, you say PSG have never really made it to this stage. Leipzig have barely ever been in the competition, let alone get to the latter stages. And that's the point I was making earlier. I think you said, Galaxy is one of the most experienced, but he's not experienced in Champions League football. Now there is Sergio Rico. He's experienced at losing at Craven Cottage. But, the point is these players will be sensing nerves more than they've ever had before because of these sorts of nights. So I agree to the point of we've got to accept that mistakes will happen. But when they continue to happen, we saw it with Shakhtar last night, you don't want to get destroyed when you've had such a good season.
And that's the problem. It's a shame because, usually in competitions like this, if you were to lose by such a large margin, you'll have a couple of weeks, couple of months to kind of rebuild yourself. You've only got to look and realise, for example, for Barcelona, the season starts in the league in 3-4 weeks' time. If you lose by big margins, it could affect your start to the season. Of course, they're now looking to do a rebuilding project, which are going to have a couple of weeks. And of course, they've still got till October to, bring players in, but they want to get them in as fast as possible. There's been a couple more comments about the Messi kind of debate we're having right now. But Ronaldo put, it's kind of like the prospect of Messi and Ronaldo playing side by side. But would they conflict by trying to outdo the other?
Now, that is something I don't think we'll ever see happen. I don't think we'll ever see the two together. It's almost like I'm trying to think of a really good analogy now, but like it's going to be weird. Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, two people, but you never see them in the same place at the same time. That is very similar to Ronaldo and Messi. They're both great, but you'll never see them at the same place at the same time in the same team. I'm copying. This is something Rowan.
Got the Rowan analogy, yeah.
I know, but I'm talking about like they'll never be together. There'll always be two separate entities playing on different sides, playing in the same league. We've seen it before, so I would like them to go somewhere different. Maybe
I think we will, and it'll be like a uni charity match. That's the closest we'll get to them both playing together. When they do charity matches, that's when we'll see them together probably, in 10, 15 years' time. Look, when they do the charity match, you've got like Figo and Seedorf playing. We might see it in the future for those types of games, but in terms of league football itself, we can dream. That's the thing, we can dream. And I think I was watching a video today, actually, somebody made a point. They said that Messi and Ronaldo's time was over at the highest level. And what he meant by that wasn't that they were completely finished, but on the biggest stage, it's a lot harder for them to get their team to come back in a match than it was 5 years ago. So, Ronaldo put a great performance in for Juventus against Lyon, but just couldn't quite get his team on board with him, which was his problem. And as for Messi, well, look over the last couple of years, the game against Barcelona when they were winning by 4 goals didn't turn up there. The game against Bayern Munich was a waste of time, him even turning up, to be honest. It's one of those situations where in that prospect of Ronaldo and Messi being the two main figures, are we starting to see their time finish as the main two? And not resurgence, but the beginning of a new age?
Right. Oh, it's a difficult question to answer this one, Josh. It really is, because we don't want to discredit what these two people have done, because I think the stat they said was that over the past 8 seasons they've both scored 50 goals or more in a year. That's unreal. That will never be matched. I truly believe until we see aliens play football, that will never be matched. That is unbelievable. So, is it over? No. Is it playing a little bit more of a back burner to other people? Yes. For many years it was Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Bale, maybe Hazard in this sort of period now. I think the gap is slowly closing. But what we need to remember as well, they are 33, 34-year-olds competing with the likes of, Neymar's about 27, 28. You've got Mbappe, who is 20, and he's a different level of sort of like a young prospect. So I just think the gap has closed from where it used to be. But they're not gone from the top level. But sadly, we may be seeing, the ending of what has been an unbelievable, dominant set of period of time.
I think the best way to put it is, for all those arguing, just fucking appreciate them. Appreciate the fact that we have two outstanding players still playing, because in a couple of years' time, in 5 years, on from now, they'll have retired, and you'll look back and you'll think about these players, and you'll watch their highlights, you'll watch their memorable games, Ronaldo's hat tricks against Atletico Madrid, that the incredible goals that Messi has scored in the yesteryear and even now. Just appreciate what we've got, because it won't be long till they've both retired and moved on with their lives. And by the way, thank you very much. We're now up to 670 subscribers as well. So for everyone who's subscribed, thank you very much. God bless you. Greatly appreciated. So the question I'm going to ask the chat here before we do get into the second half in just a couple of minutes' time. Can RB Leipzig do it? They're 2 goals down right now, 45 minutes left of this game. Do you guys in the chat, maybe there is a potential opportunity of a historic comeback? Remember, they've got to score 2 goals here to get into extra time. 3 goals to win this fixture, of course. There is no second leg. Can they do it? Who knows? But we will kick off in just a moment's time. I'd like to quickly ask you about the other game as well, which is on tomorrow night, because we won't be there for that game. It'll be Kieran D and Rowan who'll be covering that match, which they'll be live from 7:45. So if you do want to stick around for that tomorrow, then be greatly appreciated as always. Lyon and Bayern, is it going to be a demolition derby? Because the thing that kind of annoys me, and it could happen, but I think a lot of people have just looked at that game and thought Bayern Munich will batter Lyon. After an incredible performance against Barcelona, they will go up against this French side, which they played in the semi-finals back in 2010, and just smash them up. Do you think that'll happen, or do you think it'll be a much tighter game?
I think it would be wrong of us to discredit Lyon after what they did the other night. I think it would be stupid of us to do that. However, it's, how many times does lightning strike in a season? They put in a one-of-a-kind performance against Man City, but this Bayern Munich team just looks so ruthless and so unbelievably talented, with a level of understanding between the front men that we've not seen for years, and a defence that has so much going forward, yet is solid at the back to the point where they destroy teams, And I think it will be really, really hard for Lyon to come out tomorrow. I hope they come out with some respect, because they really do deserve it. But I think it will be a comfortable enough night for Bayern Munich.
Well, that'll be tomorrow's game. Of course, keep your eyes out for that with Kieran D and Rowan. We'll be watching in the background, chilling out, relaxing, and hoping that it's a good game. But talking about good games, the second half has just started in this match. And as we did predict, there has been some changes, 2 changes, in fact. 2 changes being Forsberg, who's come on, and Patrick Schick. Now, we're going to find out, of course, the 2 players that have been subbed off, which we'd assume, of course, as you said, we expected Leipzig to go 2 up front at this stage, which I think they have done. I can see Poulsen is on there, so he hasn't gone off, but we'll find out. So it's Nkunku who's come off for Forsberg. That's the first change. And then the other change, we will find out in a second. Patrick Schick's come on for Danny Olmo. Do you think they're the right players to take off here, Kieran, or would you keep one or the 2 of those players on?
I think they've never been in the game. To be fair to them, they haven't really played fantastically. And I think now you've got a little bit more experience at the top end of the field, with the likes of Sabitzer probably going a bit more further forward this half, with Forsberg, who's a bit more experienced than Olmo and Nkunku. I think on the ball, technically, Olmo and Nkunku are better players, but the players that have come on have got the experience and, maybe the desire to really try and drag their team back into this game. And as they come forward here, Schick and Sabitzer playing a nice 1-2. It's a lofted cross. It'll fall to Angelino. He'll drill it in.
Oh, why has he left it? Oh, I don't know what he thought there. I don't know whether he kind of thought about leaving it with another play behind him, or whether he wanted to go for the shot. But Patrick Schick there with a good opportunity.
It was indeed.
Out, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if he thought Kimpembe was going to clear it and he didn't want to clatter his own ankle off, because it did seem like Kimpembe was going to do that. But they've given the ball away again, and so have PSG. Lucky from Leipzig, because
very lucky.
It appears to be a really attacking formation as Lima comes forward. Poulsen can't get his foot on it, but for
the neutral, as you said, because it's so attacking, for the neutral it's fantastic, because hopefully we'll see hopefully the team taught that Nagelsmann has given out to his side will spur them on, and we might get a bit more of a faster pace half, especially when they've got 2 up top, and they're going to have to score as early as they can here to really test PSG. In terms of the question that I asked chat, of course, do you think they'll get back into it? Bernat says anything is possible, and he's spot on. Champions League nights, we've seen some crazy nights over the last couple of years, and it could potentially have an opportunity for to be another classic and little bearers, but maybe both teams will score in the second half. But of course, the question is, how many goals could we see? Or will we see any goals, of course? Let's not take it for granted that we will see any in this second half.
And they've given the ball away, and Schick will come forward. I'm pretty sure that'll be given as a yellow when it comes back. But Schick will try and drive Leipzig forward. The pace has slowed from the counter, but being a bit more meticulous now.
Here come Leipzig on the left-hand side. Campbell to Angelino, back to Campbell again. Now to Forsberg. Here's Angelino, who has played off to Forsberg, who's on the left-hand side, trying to dink it towards the two up top, Poulsen and Schick. But it's good defending. And, well, it's very different, I think, to last night's game, Inter Milan and Shakhtar Donetsk, because Shakhtar, we talked about that game, they were getting forward but weren't making any opportunities on goal. I think there is a great opportunity for Leipzig to have a couple of good chances.
Yeah, and Lima hounding Bernat there. I feel like there is a mistake in this PSG defence. I do believe that if they hound them enough, someone will get dispossessed. And Lima has been in the water. I'm not sure if he's been booked yet, but it must be close if he hasn't.
I don't think he has gone into the book yet, but I'm surprised. I said the referee's not maybe giving out a couple more cards here and there. But there's a defensive half free kick here for PSG. Pamecano is going to play it back, and we're 5 minutes into this half. The Little Bear thinks that Leipzig will score under the 60th minute, and PSG will score towards the end of the game. I mean, as I said, Leipzig, they've got to go for it here, so they are going to leave a little bit more space at the back for PSG to exploit, which, considering the first half, is probably the last thing they want to do with the front three of Di Maria, Neymar, and Mbappe.
Yeah, but if you put PSG on the back foot, they are weaker defensively than they are going forward. So if you just nullify their attacking threat and you just question them defensively, I do believe they will break eventually. And once they break once, if you can really hound them, you've got to test the steel of that back four.
Absolutely, and here they come. Again, Leipzig, can they use this opportunity for a goal? It's Angelino on the left-hand side. He tries to lay it towards Poulsen. It's a poor ball, but they've got the ball back here. Angelino, he's going to back to Forsberg. It's in here for Angelino, but great defending from PSG. Just Marquinhos, Kimpembe and Thiago Silva both coming together there to really put Angelino with no opportunity to get the ball. And they've got a corner here, Leipzig. They've got to make the most of this.
Yep, unbelievable. I'm surprised Forsberg didn't take the shot, but he thought the reverse ball was better. He is standing over the corner, though. Emil Forsberg will whip the ball in.
Oh, they're claiming for a handball.
No, I think it's another corner, Josh. I think it's another corner. Yeah, it is. It'll be another corner.
It is a corner. I thought there was a couple of Leipzig players. I mean, Marquinhos saying it's come off the check.
Every person in the box just puts the handball. No, nothing's happened.
I mean, it was that first one where it was hit Poulsen on the head. It was like, it's nowhere near a handball.
Yeah, they'll try and find any sort of chance, to check VAR just in case it's come off a pinky as it's going past it. They know what they're doing, and that second corner came to nothing, and Leipzig do remain in PSG's defensive third, though.
They do, indeed, right now, but they've got another chance here maybe to make something. It's Sabitzer on the right-hand side. Now into Lima, who's trying to break down this PSG defence. It's a lovely ball towards Patrick Schick on the right-hand side. He's trying to get past the defence, Marquinhos and Nekeha kind of towards that right-hand side, and they just can't seem to get through this PSG back line right now.
No, but PSG do seem camped in their own half. They seem to not really be able to get out.
It's going to be a good 40 minutes if this is how it is, because as we said, if they can get an early goal here, the pressure really is going to be on PSG. Here come Leipzig again. It's Poulsen this time. Now into Forsberg on the left-hand side. Lovely bit of trickery from the Swedish international. He's going to take a long-range effort, and it's just over the bar. And, well, if that went into the back of the net, that would have been an absolutely outstanding goal by the Swedish midfielder. And Rico there, diving for, well, not necessarily diving, but jumping for the ball. Not the most convincing efforts, but good chance.
No, definitely caught his attention, and Forsberg, since he's come on, seems to be really taking the game, trying to get on the ball as much as possible, trying to create. Hasn't really had the chances this year as he did the year before, and rushing under Herrera into making a mistake, and Leipzig are back on the attack. So whip ball up to Poulsen. The knockdown has reached Schick. And it's again on this left-hand side where Forsberg and Angelino are operating, where most of the joy is coming from now.
Campbell. Back to Forsberg. I've got to say, already, like 5-6 minutes in, he's made an instant impact, as you said, and they're coming forward again. It's a long ball lofted towards Poulsen. He's dropping down for Schick, but it's a heavy touch. He's still got an opportunity to try and have a chance, but he's cleared away, and Schick's touch there has just let him down. And I tell you what, This is going to be an interesting 40 minutes because they're still coming forward, Leipzig. I don't think PSG have barely had a touch of the ball.
No, they're making that defence very, very nervy, but mistakes like that from Angelino could be punished. It's a good block by Mukiele. But will PSG finally get a foothold in the game? They've gone with a lofted ball. Neymar's on the end of it. Sabitza's there with him, but he's broke free.
It's lovely work.
He's got Upamecano following him. The defence has done really well. I think they'll give a foul there, and they have. Really good by Neymar. Gets his team a foul, and finally, keeps them in Leipzig's half for just a little spell of time.
Well, that's what they're going to have to make the most of right now, these little mistakes that Leipzig are making for them. Of course, they made plenty of mistakes in that first half, but if they can get something from this, remember, it's a very similar position, if you have been watching the game, of course, to the first set piece that led to a goal. Can they recreate that opportunity once again here and make it 3-0? And surely it would end the game there. But Leipzig looking a little bit more confident in this second half in that first 10-minute spell.
Yeah, but you don't want to undo all your hard work from a set piece, which is what Di Maria stands over. It's where the first goal came from. And they do look uncomfortable defending set pieces, I've got to admit.
They do, but Di Maria's cross wasn't the most convincing in the world there. And once again, it's Forsberg who does the defending there. Fantastic start from the Swedish midfielder, and hopefully he can spur his side on. But 10 minutes in here, I know, of course, there's plenty of time left, but they will be looking to get that early goal to really test PSG.
Yeah, we did say the other night, though, 2-goal lead. It doesn't take very long to get two. So maybe that's what they're eyeing up. But PSG now will want to get a bit of a foothold on the game because they've struggled in this opening spell. They've really been camped back, so it's nice for them to get some of their more important players on the ball and just stop Leipzig's barrage, which is what they felt in this first 10 minutes.
I think Tuchel will have said to his players as well, get one more goal here. We said before, as you said a second ago, that last night, 2-0 leads. They're not the most convincing. One goal and you're back in it. And here comes PSG. Gets a lovely ball towards the path of Bernat, who takes a heavy touch. And he's got his hands on his head there. He should have surely smashed that into the back of the net. And no opportunity, but they got the ball back. It's lofted into the path of Bernat. It's in the back of the net. And it's 3-0 PSG.
He's surely offside.
No. Well, I don't know what's happening here. The referee.
Bernat's offside. Surely Bernat's offside.
Well, this is going to have to get checked because the referee is talking to the RB Leipzig players. I thought he was offside there. This has got to be checked. Let's have a look at the replay.
Bernat makes the original run, which Galaxy comes out and really uncomfortable again. He should claim them at the feet. Mukiele then falls over on the left-hand side, and then Di Maria crosses it in. Oh, Mukiele's on the floor.
He's kept him on side. I think that's a goal.
Oh, Mukiele's on the floor, and it may well have kept Bernat on side. Galaxy saves, but it goes over the line.
And I don't know whether that's going to get credited to Neymar there, who's tapped it in just on the line, but I think that's going to count.
Mukiele, from falling over by being touched by nobody, has managed to keep Bernat on side. I thought he was miles offside because there was no one within anywhere near him. It's Mukiele lay on the other side of the pitch.
Well, this could be massive here. If this goal counts 3-0, it could be. I think it will be 3-0 here. The check is over. The goal stands. It's 3-0 Paris Saint-Germain.
Mukiele, he felt a brush on the arm and fell over pathetically, to be honest. And then him moaning about the decision has kept Bernat on side, who heads it towards goal. Galaxy gets a fingertip. but I think it's already over the line. And now Leipzig have all the work to do.
And that's a massive, massive goal. And it's come out of nowhere. And as you said before, Mukiele just sat on the floor trying to protest to the referee there about a potential foul and a free kick. And he's cost his side massively. It's, fantastic refereeing there. Of course, it was checked by VAR, but there's so much work to do now for Leipzig, especially after such a good first 10 minutes where they were really putting PSG to the sword. And now they've got all the work to do in the world. 3 goals they need just for extra time, 4 to win.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult for Leipzig to stomach. And I think I've got to admit, I think Mukiele's really let his team down there, and it's come back to bite them. They tried to do an on-ball from Poulsen to Schick, but it's a tough start for Leipzig because they did start the better side.
Absolutely, and it's going to be so tough now. I mean, it'd be an incredible comeback, and you can't count them out. Half an hour left, 1 goal potentially could put them back in here, and it's a lovely lofted ball towards the path of Schick and Poulsen, but Rico is able to get it into his hands, and, well, half an hour left. It just seems like it's slowly slipping away, the dream of a Champions League final for Leipzig.
Yeah, and I think that they've got to adapt now, and instead of it being a 5, they've got to make it a 3. I think you've got to bring on Ademola Lookman, a bit of pace, someone to drive at the defence, and maybe Tyler Adams, because the man who won them the quarter final hasn't even been introduced yet, which I think he'll feel a bit hard done by, really, after he got them through.
Well, that's what I mean. I was very surprised when he wasn't in the original lineup just to have a defensive player in there. But PSG, lofted ball from Di Maria, that's just a little bit too high towards Mbappe, and it goes straight to Galatsky. And it really is now a case of if you're going to score Leipzig, they've got to score very, very quickly, because the longer this game goes on, PSG might think about, doing what Inter Milan did last night and scoring 4 or 5 as the German side tried to bomb up the pitch to make a comeback.
Yep, and Kimpembe's done really well to outmuscle Poulsen on the other side. I think the problem is now with Leipzig is, in terms of forwards, they only have Schick and Poulsen. There's no one really. They don't even have Matheus Cunha anymore, who could have been valuable in this game to bring on as a substitute, but his move to Hertha Berlin happened in January. So they look a little bit void of inspiration at the moment, but 1 goal might change it.
Exactly. You never know. We've not really had a big comeback yet. I mean, of course we have in terms of Atalanta PSG, but here they come forward now. Lima laying it off towards the edge of the box for Sabitzer, who takes the shot on, but it's straight into the hands of Sergio Rico, who, to be honest, hasn't had a great deal to do tonight. A lot of shots have been kind of hit towards him, and it's been a very simple night for the former Fulham goalkeeper, probably never expected to play in a game of this magnitude. But a mistake at the back here for PSG doesn't come to anything. And Kimpembe's gone down after a tackle on from Conrad Lima. And he's got a yellow card, and absolutely deserved.
I'm surprised Lima didn't go down from the original square pass that completely missed Kimpembe. And Bernat had to really try and make up the ground. He slid in to make up the ground and took out Lima originally. I'm surprised he didn't go down, but he went to chase the rebound and didn't get there.
We're just seeing that opportunity, of course, from Mukiele, who gets up instantly just as Bernat's got the ball there. And it's a simple finish from the Spanish fullback, and just so poor from Mukiele. And it's another, I can't say it's an individual error, but it kind of is, isn't it, really? He's not really done anything like giving the ball away, but, kind of going in that situation, calling for a foul. I don't know what he's doing there.
No, and I'm not sure what they're doing here either, with Lima being replaced by Halstenberg. I don't know if they're going with a flat 4 and maybe pushing Angelino up a little bit. But they've took off Conrad Lima now, and they're bringing on Marcel Halstenberg.
I think it will be a 4 at the back now, as you said, which is interesting to do it at 3-0 down. But it's that Lima tackle. He's not getting the ball. I'm very surprised here that that's not been potentially given as a red card, because there's no chance he's getting that ball. Absolutely no chance. And I don't know whether he's gone in for that tackle there just because of Kimpembe before. I don't know whether they agree with me or not, but I don't think he'd ever get that ball anyway.
I disagree. I do. I think the belief is he's trying to get any sort of connection with the ball he could possibly get, even if it's so unlikely. At least he's tried it, just in case trying to get it.
That's the thing is though, it's miles away. There's a difference between, they are making a change by the way. Tyler Adams is actually coming on now. There's a difference between the ball being quite close and going in for a tackle, but he's got no chance. That ball is going at quite a fairly quick pace.
Yeah, I don't think it's a red. I think a yellow is probably fair enough for that tackle. I don't think it was malicious.
Oh no, definitely not malicious.
No, I think he's just, he knows it's running away from. Maybe it's slight frustration, but he's just thought, if I try and maybe I get a foot on it, even though it's very unlikely. It wasn't bad intentions, I don't think.
No, and of course, the key word you've said there is frustration. We're now in the 62nd minute. They've got to do something, and there are a few tackles going in here and there from Leipzig players, giving the ball away. It's like the first half again, isn't it? They're just giving away sloppy fouls that are, playing into PSG's hands here. And Kevin Campbell is going to come off for Tyler Adams, so another change here for RB Leipzig, with about 27 minutes to go on the clock, with a little bit of additional time, and it just seems like this game is starting to fade away.
Yeah, I think, again, though, if you look at that, it still looks like a defensive 5, which is surprising me, to be honest. With about 25 minutes to go, it just thought they may go with a 4 and try and really go, but it's a mistake again from Thilo Kehrer, and it allows Sabitzer to pick up the ball. Forsberg's wide left, Angelino's making the overlap, he cuts inside to Poulsen. It eventually reaches Angelino. It really is the outball for RB Leipzig. And it'd be sad when he goes back to Man City because he fits this Leipzig system very well.
I'm very surprised they're not going to kind of use the release clause and the clause in his contract that they've got while he's there to sign him up, because I think he's been very, very important to them. And of course, things might change and he might sign for RB Leipzig in the end, but in these last couple of games, as you've perfectly put it, he's been so pivotal to their attacks. He's been the main man that's kind of been crossing the balls into the front two right now. Of course, Poulsen when he's been playing on his own, and they're doing that exactly again right now. It's here with Forsberg. Angelino kind of overlapping behind him, but he's kind of opted to go towards the middle of the field, towards Sabitzer, who has once again gone for a long-range effort, which is going miles wide.
Yeah, and again, I think that's just frustration because they've not even... you've got to take your time there, and there is still 25 minutes to go. I know they want to rush to try and get at least one back, but taking wayward shots like that isn't gonna help anyone, sadly.
Little Bear has put, by the way, in the comments, he says, I don't know how Liverpool lost with Atletico, because in this semi-final it should have been PSG v Liverpool, and in my opinion, Bayern v Liverpool would have been a good and beautiful final battle.
It would have been. I mean, that would have been fun. I mean, obviously Liverpool beat Bayern on their way to, I think it was it on the way to last year's Champions League where they won 3-0 at the Allianz Arena?
It was a very good, comprehensive result.
Yeah, it was. Bayern never looked to even scare Liverpool, at least once, and I still remember Mane's amazing turn and chip over Neuer. What a wonderful, wonderful goal that was. But it would have been a really nice game, and it's another foul. I
think as well that Bayern side has just changed massively over the last year. That from 1 year beforehand they were getting battered up pretty much, beaten up even by Liverpool, and now I think if you were to put them against each other, you could probably see that being a much more closer game, and I think there'd be a lot of people who'd probably be in favour of Bayern winning it.
I think really by far and away the best team in Europe. I know Liverpool haven't been able to face them this year, but Liverpool have been the best team in England. Bayern have been the best team in Europe, and there's no doubt in that. Even if this competition wouldn't have happened, Bayern, for me, have been the most impressive team. And I hate that because we always like to see competition in the Bundesliga, but the form they had towards the end of the year, unstoppable.
You've just got to look at the Champions League run as well. The amount of goals that they've scored in this specific campaign itself, not including just Barcelona, the 7-2 win against Spurs, the 7 goals they scored against Chelsea over 2 legs. It's probably one of the best runs of any club in terms of the amount of goals scored in a Champions League season. Of course, it's not long until, to be honest, we get underway in the next couple of weeks and months with the group stages of next season's competition. Of course, the draw, I think, is at the end of September, beginning of October. And once again, we'll be doing watch-alongs right from the very start, which we'll have more information, of course, when the time gets closer. But Angelino here with an opportunity to cross the ball into the box. He's hit it low, and, well, it's not going to get to anyone there. And Tyler Adams is having to do a bit of defensive work here and try and get the ball back in the attacking phase of play.
Yeah, there's 4 men around the ball. He's really trying to hassle, but PSG have done really well with just making Leipzig chase every single ball. And really, apart from the odd mistake, they've been much better at keeping possession than RB Leipzig have tonight.
It's been disappointing, very disappointing. And, I guess you still can't count them out. We've had a lot of late goals in this match, but they've got to score 3 at least. And just, it's been so disappointing. It's very similar to Shakhtar in that they'll look back at probably this game and kind of feel like they've let themselves down if the result stays like this. Yeah,
it's a very poor clearance, though, and it's fell to Halston. But I don't understand what they're trying to do. They've got so much space, and they've just drilled it at Neymar, who can through ball. And Mbappe, the defender, does very, very well there. I think that's Klosterman doing a really good job at keeping up with Mbappe, which must be difficult because he's like Roadrunner sometimes.
But the thing is, the problem is PSG themselves have made a lot of little mistakes tonight, giving the ball away, and RB Leipzig just haven't been able to use that to their advantage. And of course, it's worked perfectly the other way tonight for PSG, because you can look at all 3 goals pretty much and kind of say someone was at fault for it, whether it was the player down on the floor or just a goalkeeper making poor judgments. And
yeah,
it's poor. It's been really poor tonight. As for PSG, I don't think, very similar to Milan, they've not had to really play to the highest strength tonight, have they, to be honest?
No, I don't think they've been all guns blazing. I think, they probably played to, 75% maybe at points, but we haven't really seen them break down Leipzig. It was 1 set piece, 1 mistake from the goalkeeper. Lovely, lovely 3rd goal, but that's offside if Mukiele gets up and stops complaining. So they were all, I think, avoidable goals, but PSG have done what they've had to do and scored when they needed to. So,
and they've still got 20 minutes left here to maybe get a few more, and they've got a chance here potentially lofted into the box towards Mbappe, who does go for a header, and well, it really should be 4-0. I mean, Mbappe's he's not the most tallest of players, but in that situation, he's heading the ball down towards goal. All he has to do is guide it straight on, and it's in the back of the net.
I don't know how he's missed. I don't know. He should be doing better there. But again, PSG now coming forward because Leipzig have given the ball away. They can just
given up.
Yeah, it does. They're just chasing shadows out there at the moment. The press that Leipzig try, there's no press today. It's just lackluster running to the ball at this point, and they do look a little bit shot, really, in terms of belief. And I don't see them even getting 1 goal back tonight.
Neither do I, because here come PSG again. It's Neymar about 30 yards out towards the middle of the pitch. He's going to lay it off to the right-hand side to Thilo Kehrer. Can they maybe get a 4th goal here? Neymar is now pushing towards the middle of the field. It's going to be laid off to their defence. Andre says Marseille fans are furious. I think there'll be a lot of Ligue 1 fans just praying that somehow Leipzig can make a comeback so PSG get knocked out. But,
yeah,
I mean, they're giving the ball away again here. This time it's Forsberg who's giving the ball away. Neymar with some lovely trickery. This is now the time where he can start to bring out his skills and flares just to irritate these Leipzig players a little bit more. And, well, it's been such a simple performance tonight. And looking at that chance again, Mbappe should be doing so much better.
I don't know how he's not managed to head that one into the corner. But, again, I don't know how this has happened. But Mbappe's 1-on-1. Good save from Pretty Galaxy. He's not the best night, but it's a strong palm. It's on Di Maria spinning on the edge of the box before he unleashed. Oh, good save.
Well, we haven't had a long-range effort yet, but that could have been the first one.
Yeah, I mean, Mbappe went through 1-on-1 on his left foot. Good palm by Galaxy. It's really close to him. It's a save he should make. And Paredes, from distance, doesn't quite get it in the corner, so it's another comfortable one for the Hungarian goalkeeper. But we didn't even see how that happened, but it seemed like Leipzig had a throw-in, and before you know it, PSG were 1-on-1 with Peter Galaxy, and I just don't really know what's been missing for Leipzig tonight. They've just bypassed the midfield, and they were 1-on-1.
It's just got lazy. All it takes here is one goal with 18 minutes left. It's not over. 20 minutes is still a long, long time in football, and we've seen a lot of goals. In fact, every game in the quarterfinal, as far as I'm aware, had goals after the 87th minute. So it's possible for a comeback, and they just need that one opportunity, and it could be now. Sabitzer, can they have a chance at goal? It's laid back to the Austrian on the far right-hand side into the middle for Tyler Adams, the American who scored in that previous game.
For me, they're not moving the ball quick enough. They're just allowing PSG to get shape. They've gone for a switch to Angelino, and that sums up this Leipzig performance, and it's shocking.
There's no players moving into the space as well. You can kind of see there, Sabitzer, he's waiting for somebody maybe to just come a little bit closer towards him so he can lay it off to them and find some space to attack with. And it's very lazy, very, very lazy right now. And we've said it before, PSG, when they played Atalanta, that the heads look like they've dropped. I think this time we can actually say that their heads have fully dropped, and I don't see no chance of a comeback.
No, I don't. And sadly, I don't think they've even changed the shape. I think they're still sticking with a 5-3-2, which it hasn't worked from minute one. So why haven't you gone for it at the back? I don't question Nagelsmann because he's a lot more experienced than I am, but I just feel at this point in the game, just go for it. There's nothing to be lost. You've already losing. So I think you'll learn from this, though. It's a learning experience for such a young head coach, and I don't want to discredit him too much because he's done absolutely brilliantly to get this Leipzig team this far. So.
Absolutely. I think the one positive, compared to the other two games in the Europa League that were before this, the other two managers, they made their changes very, very late on in the game when, people were calling for changes before. I mean, Manchester United only made changes with 4 minutes left of the game where they were, losing. Shakhtar should have made changes when they were 2-0 down, left it until they were 4 or 5 goals down pretty much. And at least he made those changes quite early on to try and change the game up a little bit. But even the chat have given up here because Little Bears put, so we'll have PSG buying UCL final Sevilla Inter who'll be the winners. We've got 15 minutes to go. But who do you think could be the winner if it is PSG v Bayern?
Bayern Munich. I think they're just a better team overall. Coming forward here, though, Upamecano finds himself advanced.
Oh,
he does it. Forsberg through to Poulsen. Great tackle by Presnel Kimpembe.
Forsberg being pushed towards the left. He's got 3 players on him. Lovely cross.
So far, but they'll pick the ball up again. I mean, Mukiele and Upamecano joining in. Upamecano's praying for the long shot.
We've got to have the standard of Upamecano, just long-range effort or good run. It's laid off here to Angelino. Right at the edge of the box. Oh, he's parried it. Oh, he's just got to... I mean, it's not one of those, to be honest, in that situation where I think a player would have got to it, but he's parried it out. And in that position, the greatest strikers would be there to slot it home.
Yeah. It's unconvincing from Sergio Rico, and it makes you wonder why they've not tested him sooner, Josh. He is really lacking game time. He's not the most convincing goalkeeper. At least just put some tests in. The ball's just ricocheting now.
It's panic stations for PSG.
It is, but look at this counter now. It's Neymar and Mbappe versus Angelino. It's Mbappe. He's got Neymar to his right. He finds him. He slipped.
Oh, he slipped.
Angelino.
Oh, well, both players slipping there. And luckily for Angelino, he slipped after Neymar had slipped. And it could have been 4, but he's lucky there. I mean, Alexis said what we said earlier. Not so fast. Leon will give a good game, I'm sure. And that's exactly what we said at half-time. It won't just be a simple battering for Bayern Munich. But I think a lot of people aren't giving Leon the credit they deserve. But 14 minutes left here. Just get a goal. Bring some belief to this side because it could change everything.
Yeah, and they've had a few moments there. The corner, the ball was ricocheting around, and then there was also the chance that...
It's a lovely ball. Angelino, just cross it in. He has. But there's no one there. It's dropped down for Adams. He can get it back to Angelino.
Drills it. Overheads away. Where has this been? I think that third goal stuffed Leipzig because this is what we saw at the first 10 minutes of the half where they were dominating.
I just think strikers' movements need to be a bit better as well. As I said earlier, with the parried shot, the greatest of strikers would be in the right position to slot that home. And Poulsen and Schick, You can see them right now towards that near post, standing, waiting for the ball to be crossed towards them. They've both got a little bit of height, and here's the ball to Angelino, who can just try and get there, but it's great defending from Thilo Kehrer, who can get the ball out for a throw-in. And as you said, where's this pace from RB Leipzig? You know, we've been waiting for the kind of last 20, 30 minutes of this half, and they only seem to have just started coming out. It's a long ball from Upamecano, who does get it to Forsberg, who hits his shoulder, and he's cleared away.
And I've got to admit, Angelino has one hell of a gas tank to make the runs he makes for 90 minutes, because he has been the out ball every time to try and get a good crossing. The right has rarely been used when Konrad Laimer was there, because Konrad Laimer's not an out-and-out fullback. He's not a right wing-back, so I definitely think these wing-back positions is where Leipzig need to kind of address, as well as the striker in the transfer window.
I mean, he's been fantastic, and as I said, I'd be very disappointed if they don't activate the clause in his contract to join the club permanently next season from Man City. But here come PSG with a chance to make it 4. Neymar trying to use his skills, but he's gone down, and the referee's going to give a free kick and a yellow card.
I thought he got the ball. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he got the ball. And
a yellow card to Poulsen.
Yeah, Poulsen's been mouthing off all night, so I'm not surprised at that one. But the Halstenberg one, I thought he got a foot on the ball. I'm just going to have a double check, hopefully, if they give us a replay.
I don't think he did. To me, that looked like Neymar was about to go for the rainbow flick, and he's just kind of clattered into him. Let's
have a look. No, he got a foot on the ball.
No, actually, you're right on that one. He did get a foot to the ball. I didn't know whether Neymar had gone for some skills there. You know what he's like, but yeah, he did get a bit of the ball there. But Poulsen, as you said, yellow card as well, been mouthing off all night. Maybe instead of mouthing off, he should try and be a decent striker and put the ball into the back of the net, because he's been pretty poor tonight. Which I think, I don't say to slate him off massively, but he's not.
Look at the run look at the run he's made to go and anger the referee. I mean, he was up at the other end of the pitch. Just leave it.
He's ran all night.
Yes, you love hating on Yusuf Poulsen, don't you? You love it. You're so glad he's had a bad game.
Perfect. No, I don't like to massively slate him, but he has been poor tonight. But short free kick here taken. Di Maria actually gone for the shot, punched out by Galacki. Long range effort, great save from Galacki, and that nearly was the goal of the tournament.
Yep. I think it was Paredes again. He's been lining up a long shot all night. He gets that one, but can Poulsen win the knock-on? No, he can't. He got out-jumped by Bernat, who, I want to repeat, is about 5'7".
But they have got the ball back, though, here. Sabitzer going to lay it off to Forsberg. 10 minutes left. 3 goals down. They need to get a goal now if there's any belief of a comeback. I bet Sabitzer is going to chip this towards the path of Schick. I thought he was going to go for the long shot. Forsberg can head it down. They're demanding a free kick, but the referee says no.
It will be batten down the hatches for PSG now and try and sneak a goal on the counter, because that front 3 on the counter are so dangerous. Surprised he's not subbed one of them off yet, just to, rest them for what looks to be a final.
I think we will see Maxime Choupo-Moting come on shortly.
I hope so. And I just think, Mbappe injured before the last game. Di Maria injured, had to sit out the last game. So I just think rest them legs, to be honest.
Angelino with a pretty decent ball there towards Poulsen, who couldn't get a touch. Kempembe's been absolutely outstanding tonight. Well, to be fair, he's not had much to do with Poulsen anyway, but when he's had to do the work, he's been solid. And here comes PSG on the attack again. It's Neymar with a through ball towards Mbappe. Oh, it's a mistake at the back, and my lord, well, it could have been another defensive error at the back there, and Halstenberg has kind of just hit the ball into Mbappe's foot, forcing a save from Galacki, and well, it would have actually counted as Mbappe's goal had it gone into the back of the net, but my lord, it just proves how poor Leipzig have been tonight.
Yeah, absolute calamity at the back yet again as Klosterman tried to hit it off Mbappe. Just stupid decisions like that. It's too big of a risk to take.
Leipzig on the attack again here. Sabitzer towards the far right-hand side is going to lay it off. Chance for the ball to be whipped in here. It's to hit low and well. His potential chances come off one of the defenders' face. Forberg on the rebound. He can't take the shot, and PSG could counter-attack. They've got a free kick, and that was the chance to get a goal.
I think Poulsen got in the way of his own shot. I think Poulsen got in the way of... they're bringing on Willie Orban. He's bold. He's bold.
Why do I expect here Poulsen to come off for some bizarre reason?
No, it's Klosterman. So it's just like for like.
And there are two changes here for PSG as well. Julian Draxler is coming on, as well as Marco Verratti, who was one of the other players who was out of that previous game with an injury. He's back as well. And, of course, we did expect some changes here. I think we will see one of those changes being Paredes, who's come off, who had a couple of good long-range efforts tonight, had a good game, not had a great deal to do in the midfield. And the other change, I would assume, is probably one of the front three. I'm going to guess here Di Maria.
And Herrera.
So just to make matters worse, the front three still stays on for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I just hope none of them pick up a knock now, because I think there's an opportunity here to just rest some of the players before an inevitable final at the moment, because Leipzig just had that chance, and I think just sums up their night, really, if their own player got in front of the shot.
Yeah, that was their one opportunity to maybe spur on the most unlikeliest of comebacks, but Poulsen getting in the way of his shot. Forsberg, as I said, with a rebound, but he couldn't get anywhere near to goal. And here come PSG again. Bernat laying it off into the path of Neymar, who can't get the ball. It's cleared away, and maybe now there's a chance for a counter-attack, but you can see the players that are forward here for Leipzig. They're just sat back defending. There was only kind of 4 players up top. They're giving the ball potentially away here again. The referee's going to give a free kick to Leipzig, and it's been a good performance tonight from Paris Saint-Germain. You can see there a couple more changes coming on. Eric Maxim, Choupo-Moting, and Sarabia coming on. So we will probably see. I think they'll bring off Neymar and Mbappe now. Rest them 2 players up.
Sarabia really poor against Atalanta in the last game. He was in that Di Maria position because Di Maria, of course, was injured. So hopefully gets brought on. He might have to do a job at wing again, but at least he gets some minutes. But that's a long ball.
Exactly.
That's a long ball towards Angelino. Kerry does okay, and Thiago Silva will clear. I think they're trying to take quick free kicks to stop the changes being made and running down that clock a little bit further.
Here comes Tyler Adams. Maybe another chance for an opportunity at goal. Sabitzer. Back to Sabitzer again on the far right-hand side. Going to move towards the middle to Tyler Adams. He's going to loft it long towards the main man tonight, Angelino, who I've got to say, I don't think he's had a massively bad game, to be honest. I think he's probably been one of their better players.
He's constantly that switch of plays onto him, and he's always putting balls into the box. He's tried, but there just hasn't been a good performance in this Leipzig team, really. I guess if you're looking for a possible 6 out of 10, you might find one for Angelino.
I just think he's put a lot of decent crosses in, but he's just had nobody there to get towards the ball. And I think if you're going to give a 0 out of 10 performance to someone, it's the guy who's just giving away a free kick there, Poulsen, who's been absolutely terrible tonight. But you might have maybe a chance here. Schick at the edge of the box. I could have laid it off for Poulsen.
Look, I don't know where they're attacking, intent's gone, but it's just should have released at least one of the 2 players there. Angelino with ball is poor. It's just Leipzig extremely poor.
And well, it's Willy Orban. Are they kind of using Orban now maybe as very similar to what Felipe did for Atletico Madrid as a play to bring down the ball? And those 2 changes, by the way, that we said before. Mbappe is coming off for the hero of the quarterfinals. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. I've got a feeling he's going to score again for some bizarre reason. And the other change, Sarabia, of course, he is going to come on for Di Maria. So Neymar is going to stay on for the last couple of minutes.
Makes sense. The only non-injured member of the front 3. At least, that Di Maria and Mbappe, barring training, they'll be fully fit come the final. So I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with that.
Alexis put a couple of things in the chat. It says Tuchel really has proven himself to be a top tactician. He's asked as well, do you think it would have been any different if Timo Werner was on the pitch?
Yeah, I do. I think they've been used to Timo Werner all year. I think Nkunku and him had struck up a really nice partnership. I believe midfielders had a better understanding of the runs strikers were making. I just don't think that I like Yusuf Poulsen, I really do, but I just don't think no one is near the Timo Werner level in this Leipzig team for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it nicely. I would have said because they would have had actually a good striker on the pitch to feed the ball towards.
Here he is.
Here he is.
Great pass.
It's about as good as it gets for him tonight. He's Angelino on the left-hand side, trying to lay it off to Poulsen, who falls to the floor erratically. Referee says play on. Here they come on the potential attack again. There is a 3-on-3, and it's a lovely ball. Could be an opportunity here to lay it off to Neymar, who can't adjust his feet, and there might be no shouts for penalty. Well, Neymar's gone down with an injury, and so has Upamecano, who's decided to lay on top of Neymar.
I think Neymar may have been, he was miles off. But
he would have handballed it as well, actually, I think.
Yeah. I was surprised he didn't go to the back post with Choupo-Moting because he was free as a bird. But a tackling from two people round Neymar there, and Neymar appears to have rolled into the ankle of Mukiele. But they had a chance again. Yusuf Poulsen here now, holding the ball up, and he managed to find Sabitzer in the middle.
Can they push forward and get what will be a consolation goal now? At best, it's a ball that's been lofted towards Poulsen, and it's a poor ball, to be honest, there from the centre-backs.
Yeah, it's just kind of, again, it's been this last half an hour has really summed up RB Leipzig's performance. We were really excited about the way they played against Atletico Madrid. They did really well. They took the game to them, and they played some really nice attacking stuff. But tonight they've just been outclassed. And Choupo-Moting.
Well, he nearly had a chance there. It's very disappointing, isn't it, really? Very disappointing. It's a lot of individual errors. And to be honest, when you looked at that first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half, it did look like maybe there was an opportunity in this game for RB Leipzig to really take it to PSG. And then, of course, that third goal was pretty much just killed the game off. Lex Vujic said, cheers for doing the stream, boys. Despite this game being boring, at least Red Star won 5-0 in qualifiers, so multi-stream wasn't too bad. Congratulations on the 5-0 win. Yeah,
at least, I don't know what's happened here, to be honest. There's just a melee in the box for PSG defensively. Well, congratulations, Alexa. At least you have something to remember this night by, if it not being a PSG drubbing of RB Leipzig, which is kind of what it's been, to be honest.
Yeah, it has been, to be honest. As I said, it's a shame that they didn't get a goal in that kind of first 10 or 15 minutes second half, and we might have seen a very different game. But Bernat's goal killed it off, and, well, there might be another chance here for him to maybe get 4. You can see this back line just very risky right now. PSG still pressing, still working at the highest level right now. It's quite the opposite for Leipzig. They're just walking around the pitch, not too bothered. But they might have another chance here for a goal. A consolation at best, as I said before. Angelino?
Yeah. I think they'll want to get a goal. They'll want to get a goal to remember this run by. It has been a really good run for RB Leipzig. I don't think anybody gave them a chance to get this far, I should probably say. But they've took on Tottenham, which was a good win. They've took on Atletico, which was a good win.
Oh, it's lovely. Into Forsberg. Can't get there. And he's going to be cleared away, surely, by the back line of PSG. Kimpembe, he's at the corner flag right now. He doesn't clear it. Here's Forsberg, who can push the ball towards Sabitzer, towards the middle of the box, lays it in to Poulsen. Good clearance away from PSG there. And, well, maybe there's a chance here to counter-attack and get that 4th goal. Maxim Choupo-Moting lays it off towards Neymar.
2 minutes added on, and I think if you're Leipzig, you want to get to this final whistle and you want to regroup ahead of the new season. But it's been a wonderful campaign. They'll be back here next year in the Champions League due to their Bundesliga performance. And hopefully this is a year to build on, because it really has been a magical year for Leipzig.
I think we'll see him at these stages of the competition again in the future. They've got the money, they've got the backing. They will go out and sign some big players, I think, this season, especially with the money that they've got from Werner. I mean, Kieran said PSG looks scary. Would you agree? Do you think they've looked scary tonight?
I don't want to discredit them too much. I think Leipzig have been extremely poor, but I do believe that PSG have been a lot more clinical than what we've seen from the likes of, when we saw Inter Milan, and before last night, they struggled to finish teams off. I think PSG have done a really professional job tonight, and they've finished chances. Do I give them a chance to look scary against Bayern Munich? I don't know, but I think that's a chance.
I think it's one of those where they haven't had to put 100% in tonight just because of how poor Leipzig have been, but that works into their favour, of course. And while the referee has blown the whistle, Thomas Tuchel is delighted, and as are his players as well, because PSG are making their first ever Champions League final. And could this be finally their time to win the Champions League? It was a convincing performance tonight against the RB Leipzig side that will be very disappointed in themselves with how they've approached this game today. And you can see the players now just swapping shirts, Neymar and Halstenberg. And you have to give them credit. They've had a fantastic run in this tournament, a great game against Spurs, of course, the fantastic late winning goal against Atletico Madrid, but PSG were just too good for them tonight. They weren't fully playing at 100%, you could say, PSG, but they didn't have to, with a few defensive mistakes at the back from the likes of Golatsky and was it Mukiele as well, with the goal he gave away for Bernat. And a fantastic performance for PSG. They go through to the final. Of course, who are they going to be facing? Is it Lyon or Bayern in tomorrow's game? Well, I mean, it's a great performance for them tonight. We kind of talked about it before, Kieran. The front three is very, very dangerous. You know, Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, of course, being that main front three this season that they've had. Can they do it? Can Neymar and Mbappe, turn it up in the final?
Yep. Yeah, they can do it. I truly believe they can. They seem to be a different PSG to the PSGs we've seen in the past. They look at them now, all of them together in a circle celebrating this victory. They look to be together, and they all seem to be striving towards that one common goal, which has not been what we've seen from Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, they can do it. However, if I'm looking at the two teams on paper, you've got to also credit the likes of Bayern Munich, who dispatched Barcelona. They dispatched Barcelona, and yes, they were awful that night, but look at what Bayern Munich are doing on the other side. So it could be done, yes. I think they'll have a much more difficult task, but there is no doubt if they win it, they are worthy winners of the Champions League.
Absolutely. And well, of course, we're going to have to find out what happens in terms of the other game tomorrow. Remember, we could have potentially an all-French final if Lyon can do the impossible. Well, what feels like the impossible against Bayern Munich. It will be KD and Rowan, the dream duo, as we call them. That'll be live tomorrow from 7:45, kickoff for that game at 8 p.m. And of course, it does mean that PSG are in that final. They'll be facing off against Lyon or Bayern Munich. 23rd of August, that final will be. We'll all be there from 7:30 for that game. We're going to build up to it a little bit earlier, talk about the teams, talk about the tournament in general, and of course, watch that final with everybody together for that. And of course, as well, we have another final still to come a little bit earlier than that on the 21st of August. Don't miss out on the Europa League final. We already know who the two teams are that'll be playing on Friday night. Feels weird having a Europa League final on a Friday night. Sevilla and Inter Milan are in that final. So we need a great game of football. Both teams, remember, do have Champions League football next season. 8 p.m. kickoff for that game as well. Once again, we'll be live from 7:30 for that match. So there we go. It's been a convincing result tonight for PSG. Didn't have to play to 100%, but they're through to the final. But who will they face? Is it going to be Lyon or Bayern Munich? Thank you to everybody who's been watching tonight. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always, for being a fantastic commentator tonight, as always. And,
sorry, are you just seeing Thomas Tuchel having a go at a member of staff? I don't know who that is. They seem to be really mouthing off.
I didn't know. I did see he was pointing at someone there, but I turned away for a second. But maybe trying to taunt the opposition potentially. Andre, he said, thanks for your channel. And Little Bear was put, Bayern will make another game set match with Lyon, many goals. Don't count them out. Don't count them out. Exactly. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of the evening and see you for tomorrow's game. Good night.